A KSL Sports presentation. Game Night Live kicks off now. Sponsored by UCCU.
Welcome to Pleasant View, Utah. You see why it got its name. What a beautiful setting for high school football, and we got a dandy tonight. As the Weber Warriors host the Davis Darts, both teams 4-1 as they open Region 1 play. Thanks for joining us tonight. Jeremiah Jensen joins by Alex Carey in the booth here. It's a 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone takeover. JJ and Alex here. Not just doing radio, we're doing TV tonight,
Listen,
Alex.
I don't like this camera stuff, but you know the football part is what we really are here for. So
You'll get
I'm
used
loving
to it. You'll get used to it. Let's talk about football, Alex. So this is a great matchup. The Davis Darts, 4-1 on the season. They got a very young team, but a very good team.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be good for a while. I mean, this is probably the best offensive team in the state right now by the numbers. I mean, you see what they can do. They're scoring a ton. They've got a lot of different weapons, and like you said, a lot of them are super young. You got a couple of sophomore stars. You have a junior quarterback. You have a lot of guys who are contributing here. I mean, there's a reason they put up 80 points a couple weeks ago against Kearns. They're scoring 40 points in the halves that they have. They'll usually only play a half of football. This is why it's going to be such a big test for them, because this is a region matchup. Weber is somebody who they're used to, and Weber is used to them. This is not going to be an easy one for either one of these teams, and Davis is going to be tested like they haven't before.
1926, the first meeting between these schools, and they've been doing it ever since. We're going to get to see it tonight. Weber hosting this game. It's homecoming for them. They're 4-1 as well. Everyone's talking about Davis and an explosive offense, but Weber's pretty good on the other side of the ball.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that, again, if you're Davis and you haven't faced off against a defense like this who's not used to giving up that many points, other than that Roy game where they gave up 48 and everybody's losing to Roy this year. So, yeah. I mean, this is a really, really good Weber team. And like I said, if you're not used to facing that competition, if Weber comes out, pops Davis in the mouth, they haven't seen it. But Davis loves to get off to that fast start, and so we'll see how that offense versus a way better defense than they're used to seeing is going to be able to do tonight.
Coin toss is happening right now. We're about to find out who will get the ball first.
Did you bring your homecoming date to this one? Is this?
She stayed home tonight. She's actually at another homecoming.
I love it. This is the
my son's
the
homecoming game is tonight.
This
down
is
at Riverton, so.
This is the setting you want for football,
it's
right?
It's special. This is awesome.
I've never been up to this stadium before. I've watched these two teams play each other down at Davis before. Never been up to this stadium. It is beautiful up here. Every week we outdo ourselves with the view here. It's phenomenal.
We need to start a poll, and it's going to be controversial because we need to rank the best views in high school football in the state. That'd be a pretty tough task.
It's already a problem at the collegiate level,
right?
Between all those teams, it's going to be real hard with the high schools because there's so many high schools with so many nice settings.
All right, so Davis will receive the opening kickoff, and they will be marching from west to east.
Don't see a lot of the east to west fields these days in high school football, right?
One of the few. Roy has one. Brighton has one. I feel like I'm missing a couple others, but that's about it.
Yeah.
This is not your normal field setup.
Yeah, Davis made the right decision, except for when you're throwing that ball up for the first time and your receivers are staring straight at the sun.
That's the problem. Maybe that's what they're thinking.
Well, at least your quarterback.
Well, actually, Weber, if Davis won the toss, let's receive. Weber probably chose to
go
the direction of the field. That would make a lot of sense.
Oh, the referee's escorting Davis off of the W, not allowing the flag to get planted. That's a good move. That's a good move to start it off.
So Davis is in her field. Here comes the Weber Warriors on homecoming night.
Yeah, combined 8-2, these two teams. Obviously, a game like this, JJ, it's the first region game of the year for both of these teams, and you know, we talk about this all day at the pro and college level. Once you start to get actually into conference games, into region games at high school, into any of these games that actually feel like they quote unquote mean something, there's something different to it. And like you said, this game's been played almost 100 years. My goodness.
Weber is coached by Mo Cannon, the former Weber State Wildcat. His first season as a coach, a very young coach. And on the other side, you have Scott Peary, who's in his fourth year at Davis. 27 wins, 13 losses. He's done a terrific job at Davis. This program gets better and better in the 4 years that he's been here, and this Davis roster loaded with talent, and it's young talent.
Got the two speedsters back for Davis receiving this one. Tyson Baggett, and then Jackson Ita'aheu. This is the sophomore year's name you're going to hear quite often. That's why we're hoping to get it right.
Ita'aheu. We've been practicing all day.
That's right.
Ita'aheu.
And he's a sophomore, and he's one of two. He might even be the second best sophomore wide receiver for this team. Of course, Bodie Sparrow, that other weapon for them, but Tyson Baggett not to be forgotten as well.
We are underway at Weber High School. Week 6 of the high school football season. And no return. Davis will take over at the 20-yard line on their first drive. Trayden Bessinger, the Davis quarterback.
You start spitting out some of those numbers, JJ. It starts to get kind of wild with this quarterback.
Look at this for Trayden Bessinger. 85 of 120. That's 70.8%. 1,439 yards. 16.9 yards per reception. 24 touchdowns, just one pick for Trayden Bessinger, the 6'5 junior.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game, too. He looks every bit of 6'5. He's a big kid out there, and he's throwing the ball as good as anybody else in the state right now.
Bessinger's going to throw on first down, taking a look deep over the middle. Catch is made.
Right on cue. Jackson Ita'aheu with that first catch of the game. That one picks up already another 17, 18 yards right off the bat there. That's exactly what they've been doing all year.
That big arm of Bessinger, it really makes a lot of possibilities open up for that pass game because he can make all the throws. Hash mark to hash mark. There's not a throw he can't make.
And when you spread the field out like that, guess what? Especially at the high school level, too, it's so hard to cover that middle when you have so many weapons around the outside. And, of course, right now, they bunch it up.
Owen Talbot is the running back with Bessinger in the backfield. Now Sparrow is in motion. Bessinger out to Talbot. He gains 8 or 9 yards before he's wrapped up across midfield.
Yeah, host of Weber Warriors. That's what they're going to have to do all night. Show up and actually start making those plays right at the attack there. And you got to bring a bunch of guys to the party, and that's exactly what they did. Ian Elmore with that tackle right there. He's third on the team right now in tackles. There's a reason he's right there in the middle.
Second and short. They still spread it out. Trips to the left. Bessinger's going to hand it off. Talbot. Weber almost gets him in the backfield, but he gets free on the edge. Picks up the first down. All the way down to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Trey Barnes is the leader of this defense in terms of, a lot of these. He's there at the edges, and he's making a lot of these tackles. Had him wrapped up in the backfield, and Talbot just kept churning and was able to keep that thing going. He was going to get caught up for a loss. Ends up picking up a nice gain, including a first down, and now they're in Weber territory.
Bessinger getting the call from the sideline.
Here's Sparrow at the bottom of your screen right here, too. He's the All-State wideout. As a freshman last year, honorable mention All-State.
The blitz comes. Bessinger's got to get rid of it. Launches deep. Almost made a catch. Nice effort there, but not enough to bring it in.
Yeah, you know what? Guess what? Jackson Ita'aheu is right there, but guess what? They had him in double coverage.
Yeah.
That's not the guy you want to throw to, especially, listen, like I said, Ian Elmore, really good at that safety spot. He came right over to help his corner out, and, obviously they're going to be keen on the two sophomore wideout talents, and he was still almost able to pull that in with one hand.
Bessinger felt the heat on that play. Let's see if Weber continues to bring pressure. It'll be 2nd and 10. Now they come in motion. Handoff. Owen Talbot. First down and more, all the way down inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line.
See, that's what Davis loves to do, too. You spread it out, you throw to the edges, and you got to keep those guys honest when it comes to this thing. And then as soon as you do, a nice counter or a draw in that case, Owen Talbot, that picked up an easy first down. And that's how it gets you, because you start keying so much on that wideout talent. And it starts to get to you, because even Tyson Baggett, number one, they love throwing the screens to him. So you start to respect that, and then suddenly the middle opens up for everybody else.
This Davis offense is rolling here on their first series. Bessinger hands it off. Talbot again. This time Weber wraps him up pretty quick.
Yeah, Caden Lindholm is leading the team right now with Weber. He's got 47 tackles on the year. That's good for 10-plus per outing. Coaches expect a lot out of him, and on a night like this when you're going to be tested on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to absolutely need him.
Darts taking their time. Play clock under 10. Bessinger doesn't rush it, gets the snap off. Pressure comes again. Bessinger over the middle. Catch is made. The first catch from Bodie Sparrow, the super sophomore.
You know, and that ball was, I mean, neither you nor I would have gotten up for that one, but Bodie Sparrow is an absolute athlete. Bessinger already has a big arm, and that thing kind of floated on him. No problem for Bodie Sparrow. Pulled that thing right down.
1st and 10 Davis there in the red zone, down to the 13-yard line. Handoff, reverse. Bessinger with a block.
Tyson
Baggett into the end zone for the touchdown. Tyson Baggett, 13 yards out, a well-executed reverse. Gives Davis the first score of the game.
Yeah, you said it during the middle of the play, too, JJ. Guess who throws the key block on that one? The quarterback who handed it off initially.
And that's a 200-pound quarterback.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, that's already a tough one to be able to do when you're mixing it up and spreading it out like this, and you're trying to cover from edge to edge, and then the reverse gets thrown in. Perfect time to call it. Good call. He didn't even get touched going to the end zone.
Extra point attempt is good. And the Davis Darts jump out to a 7-0 lead here on Game Night Live. That offense looked pretty good. Here's another look at the reverse.
Well, with the sun right in the eyes of the camera.
That's what the Weber defense is looking at right now.
I know, and on top of that, like the reverse, the misdirection stuff, it's hard to follow it in real time. But the Baggett family is well known in this Davis community. They have had son after son who've done this exact thing. Their dad was a good ball player at Bountiful as well.
There's the Bessinger block that springs the reverse. Great job by Davis. The execution perfect. And they strike first. Now it's Weber's turn. Let's see what the Warriors can do on offense.
So you're telling me Carter Payne is a freshman? Is that what you're telling me?
He is a freshman. We talked about how young Davis is. Weber's got their own underclassmen who are special. We're about to see one of them here in a moment. We'll delve into that. That kickoff is into the end zone. Some great kickers here tonight, and there's no return there.
Isn't that funny, these prep kickers now? On both sides, everybody's making 50-yard field goals.
We've had 50-yard field goals in multiple games this year, just here on Game Night Live.
That means
kickers
all the
around
pros,
the state can do it.
The pros are mixing it up into the upper 60s now.
It's just a matter of time before we have a 70-yard field goal in an NFL game.
Every time you're watching those NFL games, they go, he made one from 70 during warm-ups, Bob. And you're like, my heavens.
Insane. So, Drew Cachacarne is back for Weber at quarterback. We'll get into that in a second. His first throw out in the flat is caught. Nice game by Weber.
Yeah, nice first down. That's a great call right out of the gate. And you get one of your leaders back at quarterback. That's a nice twist because Davis has been prepping all week to try to figure out how to crack this code with the freshman at quarterback. But they're running quick here too.
Another catch made. This time Davis was all over.
You had a bunt. You had trips on that right side, and you got the defensive back who gets through 2 blocks to be able to get over there and make that play.
But more on Cachacarne. This is his first game this season, the senior quarterback. He had a serious injury in the offseason, and they've had to call on a freshman to play quarterback this year. Carter Payne, did a great job this year as a freshman filling in. But now they got the senior back just in time for region play. So on 3rd down and about 6, Cachacarne in the flat, catch is made. That's going to be enough for a first down. Catch is made by number 11, Dyson Parker. So Parker with the first down. Kachakarny looks really sharp here in the early going.
Isaac Morrison on the pickup there. He was the one who made that great play before. He went right back to him again, and Weber's able to convert.
Weber playing with tempo. Another big gain. After he catches the ball, Dyson Parker gets a carry and picks up a big one near midfield.
Bodie Sparrow there on the stop, but you know what? I mean, that was Dyson Parker is not big, and Bodie Sparrow's a lot bigger than he is, and he carried Bodie Sparrow out of bounds.
Dyson Parker, a junior running back, also plays linebacker on defense. He's their leading rusher this year. He's over 600 yards already.
That shows why.
Another catch is made, and another first down. Parker's hot right now. The Kachakarny and Parker combo has his Weber offense rolling.
Yeah, Weber's doing a little bit of what Davis likes to do. They're like, hey, you like to do the screen plays? You like to do a bit of those draw handoffs? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to swing it out to our guys.
Kachakarny in his first action this season. We wondered what he would do, what he would look like when he would get back, and if he got back, how would he look with a little bit of rust. There's no rust so far tonight. The senior quarterback, 6'2", 185. Weber marching right now into the sun. Kachakarny's going to keep this time.
Oh, that's Dyson Parker.
It's Parker in a direct snap. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's in Wildcat there. I was like, my goodness, I got a little bit smaller in that snap, and yeah, direct snap to the running back.
It's effective, good enough for a first down.
Yeah, that's a good one to come back for, the old homecoming game, first region one against the who's likely the favorite in your region right now. Not a bad time to come back and mix it up.
Reverse, Kachakarny gets the ball
throw.
back, wide open, catch is made, down inside the 5, down to the 1. Tyler Payne came in as the tight end, and he makes the catch. I saw him sub in. I thought that was interesting. He plays linebacker, but he came in there at tight end, and he was the target of this gadget play.
They had a couple options out there, too. They also had another wideout who was just standing in the middle of the field. Davis ate it up. Initially, they're thinking, oh, the reverse. So they all started to say, hey, I'm staying home. I'm fine, except for everybody was down the field.
First and goal from the 2. Parker following his blockers. Comes up short. Very, very close. Just inches away from the goal line. So he's second and goal from inside the 1 for Weber.
Perfect play call so far for the Warriors. I mean, like I said, giving them a dose of exactly what they've been giving teams all year. Spreading things out, a double pass on the first, or, the pitch back on the reverse for a nice little gadget play right off the bat. That keeps teams uneven.
Loaded backfield, Kachakarny takes the snap, hands it off to Parker, into the end zone for the touchdown. The Weber Warriors score on their first possession, and we are off to a great start tonight here in Pleasant View.
This is something Davis hasn't been used to since they played Lehigh. Very front end of the season was somebody who punched back as hard as they have. And this is what it's going to be the difference right here is Weber has been playing nails games, really tough ones all season long, close ones, keeping teams at bay. And to have that response, Davis isn't used to this.
What a response from Weber. We are tied at 7 here in the first quarter.
You watch on the, when you see this thing, it's just been, they're going to the well here. Asking Dyson Parker to just keep going and keep going. 3 different throws to him during that drive. They handed the ball off to him another 4 times. He touches the ball 7 times. You know what? Keep handing the ball off to him, keep throwing the ball to him, and then mix it up with a couple of these other guys. You're going to be in business tonight with Weber. This is going to be a fun one already.
There's Parker. What a drive for him. What a start here at homecoming. Parker's having a big season for the Warriors, and it continues here on that first drive. 4:43 left to play here in the first quarter. Sun is setting in the background. over the Great Salt Lake. No returns tonight, likely. These kickers are too good. So these teams are probably, unless you have some turnovers or other factors, you have to sustain long drives, and both teams showed on that in this first quarter they can do it.
Yeah, which team's going to make a stop on defense? I mean, we've only seen 2 drives, but I mean, if you're taking the per play average on both of these teams, you're talking 7-8 yards on each play.
We've had several explosive plays already, both pass and run. Here comes Davis. Bessinger with Talbot in the backfield. 4 receivers. Davis had to call timeout.
Yeah, Coach Peary didn't like what he saw, or they didn't have the right call in, because he was frustrated there on that sideline when he made that timeout call. And you saw the Weber defense start to get a little bit pumped up too, because they knew that something was off. But the coach calls a timeout before anything nasty happens.
Well, he took a timeout, so will we. 4:43 left to play first quarter. We'll take our first break. Weber and Davis tied at 7 on Game Night Live.
Oh, my word.
Commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West, or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Back to the action. Bessinger quickly outside to the running back. Talbot, nice move. Another big play. He's out past the 30-yard line, has a first down.
Yeah, Talbot picks that up again. The screen plays, the swing passes. There's a lot of that in this offense, and what it requires is a lot of good blocking. And Tyson Baggett on that play throws the block that takes out 2 Weber defenders, and that opened up Owen Talbot to be able to break one half a tackle and be able to get down the field.
All right, Bessinger has trips to his right. This offense is just tough to defend. So many weapons, and a quarterback that big and strong that can sling it. Talbot, nice carry. Got a flag late.
Yeah, he runs hard, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Be interesting to see which way this goes.
Yeah, it's either in that holding kind of territory, or it was a face mask there while the Talbot was coming down.
Foul. Face mask. 15-yard penalty. Number 32 on the defense.
Yeah, it's one of their leaders on the defensive side of the ball for Weber.
And Trey Barnes got caught.
You know, it was real close too. Like, that was not like a hold on to the face mask type deal. Hand comes out, the face mask gets jerked by a finger that was just going by, and it's as good as a full face mask.
That moves Davis past midfield already. They're at the 48-yard line of Weber with a new set of downs. Bessinger with the snap. He's going to throw it outside in the flat. Catch is made. Turns the corner. It's finally driven out of bounds, and Baggett, who had the first touchdown with a big play there. More chunk plays.
Tyson Baggett, you saw the corner come up and try to make that play, and what happened was I think people are just unaware of how quick these kids are. As soon as he caught the ball, the corner was square, but he left enough room on the edge to let Baggett around that outside, and there's not a lot of people that'll catch that speed on the outside.
Davis goes empty here. Bessinger with a lot of options. 5 receivers. From the 30. Catch is made. Tackled quickly.
Jackson Heo, you're going to hear that name a lot tonight. It's his second catch already. He's already over that 35-yard mark.
Heo with a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3. Back to Talbot. Cuts it up. Driving his feet down near the 10-yard line.
Yeah, heavy dose. you're noticing what the pattern kind of is here. Get the ball out to the edges, and then you wait on that delayed handoff or on that counter. This offensive line does a great job of making sure that Bessinger has that protection, but it also works in those counters and in those draws because they open up those gaps so much.
1st and 10 from the 11. Bessinger to the corner of the end zone. Too much.
Bodie Sparrow.
Sparrow was open. He just missed it.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to overthrow a guy, that's the one you try to do it to, and but too much. Too much. He almost had a one-handed grab there, but yeah, missed him long. And again, you had a safety over the top. You had a corner at the edge. Wasn't really a fade as much as it was a little bit of a bullet to that corner of the end zone, and both the defenders were actually right there. It was just overthrown.
Second and 10.
Look at Bessinger out wide. Guess who's taking the snap?
It's Taheo. He gets blasted, sent out of bounds, so they switch it up a little bit there.
Yeah, Bessinger they actually put out there as a dummy, as a wideout, but you know what that turns into for him? He becomes an extra blocker, which is exactly what he did. I don't know if I want my quarterback out there throwing blocks on the edge there, JJ.
No, but the thought of throwing to a 6'5" receiver isn't a bad idea either.
Not bad, yeah.
So he could certainly be a threat there. 2:52 left here in the first quarter. We got a timeout.
Yeah, it's a 3rd and short here. They still can get the first down to the 1.5 or so. So you wonder if they're going to do the deal where this is 4-down territory. You have two downs to get basically 3.5 yards. Still try to get that first down.
Yep, 3rd down and 3. The ball is on the 4-yard line. Give Weber credit. Here in the red zone, they've tightened things up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you think about what the key play on this drive was. What was it? It was that flag.
Yeah.
The flag, this is an offense you cannot give extra 15 yards to it, put them into Weber territory on one play.
So Davis with a little bit tighter of a formation. Trying to pick up at least 3 here. Bessinger outside. He's in trouble. He escapes. We got a flag. Bessinger scores for the moment. I'm not sure it's going to stand. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, the referee does his duty and calls the touchdown, but here in the backfield it was a pretty obvious hold.
Boy, the Weber defense did a great job putting pressure on Bessinger. He wanted to throw it out here
to bag it. Yep.
To bag it in the flat, but the pressure came too fast.
Number 54. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
No, great play call because Baggett was out there open, but guess what? Just like you said, if the pressure comes quick enough, which it did, it doesn't matter how open he is because the quarterback couldn't get it to him. So great job by that Weber defense to come in there that quickly. And you hold when you get beat. Not that I know.
Former offensive lineman speaking here. So now it's 3rd and 13 for the 14. This is a much different situation. Let's see what Davis can do. Bessinger. Pressure comes, thrown to the end zone, to the corner.
Too much.
So it's 4th down. Does Davis kick a field goal or go for it here? They're going to kick. That offense is that confident that they would go for it on 3rd and 13 or 4th and 13 in the red zone. But no, they're going to get the points. We talked about who would blink first. This is a big moment. That Weber defense got the job done here to hold them to a field goal. It's going to be a 31-yard attempt. Nearly blocked. It's good.
Finn Garf with the 31-yard field goal. But yeah, like you said, they've had pressure on the quarterback. They had pressure to the kicker on that one. This is a front that I think Davis has not been used to seeing since they probably played Lehigh in week 1.
Weber had a tough one against Roy, which is the best preparation they've had for what they're seeing here tonight. The Roy Royals are fantastic this year.
You know, that's as good. I mean, think about those 2 penalties on that drive. One opened it up for Davis to get down into the territory of Weber, and then the other one killed the drive for Davis. And so, massive impact so far, those 2 penalties. But obviously the hold that brings it to 3rd and 13 puts you in a way different spot play calling wise.
So a great job by the Weber defense to hold Davis to a field goal. You have the feeling, Alex, this is going to be a track meet tonight. So a moment like that matters.
Hey, this is the only reason I told you I'd come do this game. I said, get me a lot of points, I'll be there.
When Alex was signing his contract, he said, I only do one. And it's Davis versus Weber.
But just if it's going to be a total of 100 points scored, I'll be there.
We've had a lot of points the last 2 weeks, but the problem is only one team's been scoring the points. So much more even matchup tonight. At least we expected it to be, and so far this game's lived up to the hype.
Hey, you talked to the coaches before the game. So was that a little bit of gamesmanship then, and to keep it in the back pocket that your
of course
senior quarterback's not going to be playing until that first snap happens?
We knew he was coming back at some point in the season. They didn't want anybody to know when, and what perfect time to roll him out than game 1 in region against the Davis Darts, the defending region champs. So Kachakarny, after that wonderful first drive, is back at quarterback. Now he's going to scramble. Keeps it alive, and now that ball's loose. Oh, they're going to throw the whistle. They're going to blow the whistle. Say his arm was moving forward, but a great job by the Davis defense.
Yeah, I haven't seen the replay on that, but watch this play here as we watch the replay. See if that ball was coming, or if that arm was coming forward. I don't know if it was, but you know what? I mean, that's the call. And that's it.
Junie Moala with the pressure. Kachakarny with a handoff. Trying to cut it up, but that Davis defense is all over.
Yeah.
He gets a few.
Moala's massive and he's quick. Like those, that's a combo. You saw him run the play down from behind there. That's as good as it gets from a big man like that. And they ask a lot of him off the edge there. And if he starts to get going and finds a little bit of confidence coming off that edge, it's going to be a problem for Kachakarny tonight.
Screen pass. Catch is made. Cuts it up. And taken out, but not before he gets a first down.
Yeah, it's a perfect
Again,
call.
Parker.
Yeah,
Off to a great start.
That was a great call right there because the pressure was coming. It was the most pressure they'd seen all night in those first 2 downs. And then guess what? Boom, you got it.
First and 10, Weber. Direct snap to, once again, to Dyson Parker.
Asking a lot out of Parker early here. There's a reason why he's the one who's getting all the chunk yards. And it's something, too, JJ, you played quarterback. When you have a guy you can lean on like that, it takes a lot of pressure off of you.
You got to have a go-to guy, somebody you could trust, and they do. Kachakarny quickly outside. Catch is made, and we got a flag. We saw that. That's going to go against Weber.
Yeah. There's a hold on the edge there. Is the only way you could have kept that defensive back off. Sparrow came in to make that play at the very end, but
Holding on the offense. Number 3 during the run. We're going to repeat. Second down.
15-yard penalty on the Warriors. We're going to be second down.
So Weber's backed up. It's now 2nd and 18.
that was a killer.
I noticed something that I'm sure the Davis sideline is noticing, is that Tyler Payne is back in at tight end.
He's about as big as a body you can get in there to actually you want to throw the ball to. He's quick, too.
He's the highest rated college recruit on this team. There you go. Payne's got it. They don't bring him out there to stand around. He catches it, but he doesn't get it much, about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, heck of a play on there on the edge. Trying to see what number that is. Connor Brown, I think, came out there and actually made that play. I mean, Payne is tough to bring down as it is, and and he got over to that edge pretty darn quick, and that's as good as you can do with a guy who's probably 50 pounds heavier than you are, and maybe even quicker, too.
We have come to the end of the first quarter. That was a fun quarter. Can't wait for the other three. We'll take a break and come back. 10-7. Davis leads Weber here on Game Night Live.
Feeling hurt? Uncomfortable standing, walking, or running? Salt Lake Running Company offers free custom shoe fittings. With an assortment of functional footwear and inserts, we've got solutions to help you have your best workout, work day, or work escape. For over 25 years, SLRC's award-winning customer service has helped people find the perfect personalized fit that keeps them comfortably moving. Visit us at one of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com today.
At UCCU, we've learned that people prefer more, and not just more, but a lot more. That's why UCCU created Elevated Checking. Elevated provides everything you'd expect from the best checking account anywhere, and more. A lot more. Like loan discounts, overdraft forgiveness, and free ATMs nationwide. Just visit UCCU.com.
and elevate your checking.
Thank you, Walker Kessler. Back to the action here on Game Night Live as we start the second quarter. It's going to be a third down and 13. Kachakarni with trips to his right, looks that way. Takes a shot over the middle. Too high, intercepted.
Bodie Sparrow on the
Bodie Sparrow with the pick. He takes it all the way inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. That's not what Weber wanted. And we have our first big turnover of the game.
Kachakarni had an open receiver there. He floated it to him. And then guess what? When you get up there to try to get that ball and you can't bring it down, you can see it right here. It was too high for his own receiver. And then it's tip drill. Guess who's going to catch it?
I think he was trying to throw it to 84, and the other receiver came up for it.
I know at least one pick six on the season for Bodie Sparrow. But when that guy gets the ball in his hand, doesn't matter if it's on offense or defense, that's a guy who's it's an easy catch for him, and then he does so much work after the catch and after that pick. I mean, he set him up here on the 15-yard line.
Short field for Davis. From the Weber 15 to start this drive, thanks to the Sparrow pick. Owen Talbot tries to get outside, gets a few.
Yeah, Trey Barnes, he's everywhere right now on defense. He keeps getting out there to the edge. He's getting asked a lot because when they're handing that ball off and they're going to the edge, he's the one who kept it to 2 yards on that one. Otherwise, it would have gone around the corner.
2 yards for Talbot, 2nd and 8. Weber shows pressure. Bessinger in the pocket, gets rid of it. Caught! Touchdown, Davis!
Tyson Baggett.
Tyson Baggett with another score.
What a catch. As soon as the ball left Bessinger's hand, you thought, that might be floating outside the boundary there. And Baggett not losing the concentration and catching that ball. What a catch by number one there. And what a difference a pick makes, right? I mean, that was the first play out of the gates. And that's what you do as an offensive coordinator, right? You call that play right after a turnover. Try to break the back of the defense.
Finn Garf will attempt an extra point for a 10-point lead. They're going to fake. Not going to happen. Weber was ready for it.
I don't know if that one comes out of the huddle already. I mean, there's not a lot of times that a coach will give a specialist in high school the opportunity to make that kind of call, but that was not it. Not from the beginning. I mean, they ran it to the heavy side anyway. Don't know if I love that call, but
here's another look at the touchdown.
Look at those hands on the outside.
That's a perfect pass.
And you can't defend a pass like that either. The only guy who can catch it on the field is Tyson Baggett.
As you know, Alex, one of the hardest things for a quarterback with a big arm is to kind of loft it in and put it right in the. You just have a tendency to throw it too hard or throw it too low, but that's a perfect pass right in the breadbasket.
So many weapons, too, on this Davis offense because you're waiting to see if they're going to throw it to Sparrow and Baggett will show up. They could hand it right off to Owen Talbot, or they might go the reverse to Baggett as well. I mean, there's just too many weapons on this offense right now. But, man, that turnover was just killer for Weber.
Weber will try to regroup down 9. We have a first kick that'll be returned, and he bobbles it. That's trouble. Oh, he turns it into something special there. After bobbling, it gets all the way out past the 30-yard line. I said special because for a moment it looked like he was going to go all the way.
Yeah,
he was one tackle away from breaking a big one.
Those lanes opened up, and you know what the irony of that is it opened up because of the bobble, right? You end up having some time to set up on your blocking, and nobody busts through that line, and suddenly you have a nice little gap to run through. They start on some nice on that 31-yard line.
So Weber will start from the 31, 1st and 10. Kachakarinen will try to shrug off that last throw he had.
We had some movement there before the play started, I think, by Weber.
79, 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
It's the stuff that makes the coach go nuts, right? Mm-hmm. Your last 2 plays on offense for a turnover and a penalty.
So 1st and 15 from the 26 for Weber. Kachakarinen with Dyson Parker behind him. He's going to hand it off to Parker. Parker tries to cut it up. He's got a lane. Dyson Parker. A little shake and bake past the 40-yard line. He makes up for that penalty and more. A first down on a first down carry.
Yeah, 17 yards, and you know what? He didn't get touched until about yard 16. I mean, that was perfect blocking by Weber on the edge there.
Parker off to a great start tonight. With Kachakarinen in the backfield, 4 receivers. Kachakarinen with a pump fake, taking a deep shot. There's contact. It was not called.
Yeah, Isaac Morrison there on the defense for Davis, and you did what you had to do, which is turn back, look at the play. There may have been some kind of hand fighting there, but the ref will call it both ways there. And Ian Elmore is a bigger receiver there, and so good defense.
2nd and 10. Kachakarinen, plenty of time. Catch is made, but he's wrapped up quickly, maybe 1 or 2 yards. Nice play by number 17.
Yeah, Johnny Parker's one of these younger guys. He's actually the backup quarterback, too, to Bessinger. And
got an injury.
Yeah, that, you know what that is, too? That's that drop hip tackle. You know, he kind of got out there.
Well, you hate to see that.
But again, you're asking sophomores on this team to make so many plays. Johnny Parker, he's a sophomore. He's one of the leading tacklers on this defense. You've got your 2 best wideouts on the team, sophomores. Baggett's a junior. Bessinger's a junior. You know, you got a lot of guys who are pretty young on this team.
Well, they attend to the injured player. Will take a timeout. 16-7. Davis leads Weber here on Game Night Live.
Feeling hurt? Uncomfortable standing, walking, or running? Salt Lake Running Company offers free custom shoe fittings. With an assortment of functional footwear and inserts, we've got solutions to help you have your best workout, work day, or work escape. For over 25 years, SLRC's award-winning customer service has helped people find the perfect personalized fit that keeps them comfortably moving. Visit us at one of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com today.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at BurtBrothers.com.
Welcome back to Pleasant View. Good news here. Brock Dean is up and walking off the field on his own power. A little bit of a limp. We hope he gets back into this game. If not, hope he gets back to the action soon. So 3rd down and 9 for Weber. Kachikarni with trips to his left. Going to take a shot. Caught. That's a 1st down. Inside the 45-yard line. Ian Elmore.
Yeah. That's your big. That's a guy you throw to a lot. I mean, he's going to catch the ball a lot. He's got 20 catches this year, leads. He's 2nd on the team in receptions. And guess what? The defense was as good as it could have gotten. That ball went straight to his chest. He made the catch.
Kachikarni hands off to Parker. Gets about 4 or 5 yards. They'll take that inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that catch, and then you go right to. You see, Weber likes to speed it up a little bit, make some of these calls. They're slowing it down a little bit to this one, but that's some rhythm that they got into right there just on those 2 plays. And to be able to have that option, to be able to hand the ball off to Dyson Parker like that at will. Picked up an easy 6 right there on that first down.
2nd down and 5 officially. Kachikarni hands off to Parker. A lot of room to run. Parker's got the edge. Tripped up at the 24-yard line, but not before Parker picks up 10+.
So that's the 2nd time on this drive they've run that exact same play, and guess what's happened on both times? They've sealed that edge so well that it's only up to your defensive backs, and in that case, the safety and Bodie Sparrow coming up and making the touchdown-saving tackle. Great couple calls there. Keep going back to that well. It hasn't been failing you all night.
Parker's off to a great start, and he's been huge on this drive. He'll continue to ride his hot hand the remainder of the night, I'm sure. Blitz showing by Davis. They bring pressure. Parker beats the pressure. Still going inside the 15. His teammates help him down near the 10-yard line. They're going to mark him right at the 11. Another great run. That's going to move the chains.
So you start to show that pressure, and what does that do? You bring that pressure off of the edges. That's an easier thing for an offensive lineman to go, yeah, perfect, bring that pressure. I'll push you right outside and open the gap up again. That one was up the middle this time.
Tempo. Weber. Parker again. He's got a path into the end zone. Touchdown. What a night for Dyson Parker.
Did you see that play a couple times on the drive? That edge just keeps getting sealed off. Why wouldn't you keep going back if you're Weber?
They're not stopping it.
And I'll tell you what, you've got a lot of short tacklers on this Davis defense, and they have not been able to get off of those blocks and make those tackles. You can't keep asking your defensive backs to be the ones to make that call. This is when, by the way, not getting that 2-point convert or going for a 2-point conversion there on that last one for Davis starts to come into play. He starts to go, so what was that for again? Because now, with this extra point,
it's good, and it's a 2-point game. Alex Johnson sends it through the uprights, and Weber is only down by 2.
So now what you do is, on a drive like that, it's real encouraging because you get a turnover the drive before. You have a penalty to start the drive off, and so then it looks dire. And then suddenly when you start to put this together, you go, you know what? We've actually got something here, and it keeps Davis's offense off the field, which is, of course, the more threatening part of that Davis team is that offense. Anytime you can keep them off the field as long as you can, that's what you do, and that's what Weber's done. They're within 2 right now. Again, why go for that 2-point conversion on that fake PAT? Not sure.
So with 8:38 left to play in the half, Weber gets a touchdown. This crowd's into it. The sun's set. And the Friday night lights are out as Davis receives a kick, but that's going into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, his coach congratulated him as he came out the field because you know what they're not going to want? what Weber got the last time out, which was a pretty decent return. And don't kick the ball to Bodie Sparrow. That's what his coach told him probably all week. Do not kick the ball to Bodie Sparrow.
Bad idea. Davis is just so good in the skill positions. You don't want any of those guys touching it, but especially not Bodie Sparrow. So we get to see the Davis offense again. Let's spread out this Weber defense. Bessinger. Now he's got room to run if he wants. No, he's going to go over the middle. It's caught. Scrambling around. That's number 7 with the catch. That's Easton Frazier.
Yeah, Easton Frazier gets worked into the offense periodically just like that. Now, what you notice, too, what Weber's doing on defense, they're only rushing 3 guys. They only have 3 down linemen, at least on that last play, putting their hand in the dirt. So then you end up with a bunch of defensive backs, a bunch of linebackers who are covering guys. But it's so hard to cover 4 or 5 receivers that this Davis team will put out there.
Now a tighter formation by Davis. See what they run here. Bessinger. They pursue him. He's hit, but he's wide open. The catch is made.
Baggett.
Tyson Baggett again. Fighting off defenders. Finally wrapped up inside the 20.
Yeah, it was a touchdown-saving tackle right there. It looks like he may have gotten his face mask, but the referees didn't see it at the end. It didn't matter because that was still a good 55, 60-yard pickup on that play.
What a throw by Bessinger. Under pressure. He was under duress and saw a wide-open Baggett just in the nick of time. He was another split second away from getting sacked by sandwiched by 2 Weber defenders. All right, 1st and 10 from the Weber 18. Bessinger's going to throw it over the middle. Catch is made. Brought down by that's Jackson Ida Ihow with the catch.
Yeah, Jackson Ida Ihow is one of those sophomore wideouts. He's already got 3 catches tonight, taking chunk plays too. Davis says, hey, you know what, Weber, if you're going to go tempo, we will too. They're getting right up to the line.
1st and goal from the 4. Bessinger's going to throw it. He's in trouble. Rush comes. He escapes it. Back of the end zone. Catch is made. Touchdown, Davis.
Bodie Sparrow.
Bodie Sparrow has a touchdown. Number 7. No, that's Frazier.
Yeah, Easton Frazier.
Easton Frazier with the catch.
You're used to seeing that number 2 with the catch in the back of the end zone.
Excuse us. See how these Davis uniforms are. We're up in the booth here. That 7 looks to look like a 2 from up here. We got a flag
on the play, though. Yeah,
we got a flag.
When a play gets stretched out like that, you wonder if one of the old linemen stayed on his guys a little bit too long.
See where they want it.
They're asking the Weber coach here, so it's probably on Davis.
Yeah, this might erase.
Good.
Oh, it's good.
After the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike. On the offense for Davis, number 1. That is his first unsportsmanlike of the game.
Well, it's a rivalry game, JJ. You're going to have a couple of those.
I don't know if it was that or excessive celebration. It's Tyson Baggett who got that call.
What a catch by Easton Frazier. I mean,
that was a great catch in the back of the zone. How about Bessinger?
Yeah, finding the time.
The patience under duress to find him in the back of the end zone. This Davis offense is rolling right now. About to put point number 23 on the board here. That kick is good by Finn Garth.
So, if we see that replay too, most of these guys, this is the patience of a quarterback who's so good. You're thinking, if you're under duress like this, oh, he's going to run it. Nope, he pulled right back up. And what a catch in the back of the end zone. Put it to where only his guy could get it. Because when you throw back in the middle like that, JJ, that's always dicey.
Well, it shows you the skill of Bessinger. Started as a sophomore. Got Davis to the quarterfinals last year. In 6A before they lost to Lehigh.
So refresh my memory here. All 3 touchdowns have been receptions. Have they all been passes? I know at least you've got the Baggett
reverse
one that was
run
in the corner. The reverse. Yeah, so you got 2 touchdown passes.
Baggett had the reverse, and then he caught the touchdown over there, and now the catch by Frazier in the back of the end zone. Both of Weber's touchdowns are runs by Parker. Although the first touchdown was set up by the gadget. I don't know what you want to call that.
It's the old double. Well, it was a reverse pitchback.
Pitch back to the quarterback, and
You know they've got some funny name for it. They're high school kids.
I want to say pitchy pitchy woo woo, but that's not the same. We know what pitchy pitchy woo woo is. That was not it.
It was not the Philly special.
No, not that either. 23-14, Davis leads with 7 minutes left to play in the first half. Because of the penalty, Weber can return this with good field position. There's a lane, and it closes quickly. He doesn't get past the 30-yard line. So Dyson Parker doing everything tonight. He was the run on the return. There was a lane there, and it just closed up right when he hit it. Otherwise, boy, Parker with a lane is a dangerous thing.
Still, though, a nice start to the 33. With how quickly these offenses are scoring and moving the football, plenty of time for Weber to go down and answer with another score of their own.
Low snap. Kachakarni's just going to have to kill it.
Yep.
He's not happy about it.
Well, I mean, it's as bad as a penalty because it's not a 1st and 5. It ends up being a 2nd and 12 on a. And you just have to eat it.
Basically a loss down there for Weber. Both of these teams are outstanding. It was always going to be a question of who made fewer mistakes, and so far Davis has, and that's why they lead by 9. 2nd and 11. Weber, Kachakarni over the middle, wide open, threw it short.
Had that pressure in his face. They brought a either an outside linebacker or a safety on a stunt there.
Ty Hellman was the intended receiver.
And Weber's going quick here, and that keeps that Davis defense guessing a little bit with the mix-up of formations.
3rd and long. Pressure comes. Kachakarni over the top. Caught! First down.
You notice where how good of a play that was, because if you're a quarterback, you throw to where the pressure came from. A corner blitz, that means you had Elmore wide open, and that's exactly what you got. Easy pitch and catch there. I know Davis wanted to dial up pressure, but nothing doing.
Kachakarni hands it off. Another nice run by Dyson Parker.
Yeah.
Gains almost 9.
You open it up with the pass, and then they've been doing that draw play up the middle. It's just been working all night.
2nd and 2. Parker again. Gets the first down.
So the Davis defense is having to get, they're getting pushed up against the board here, and I'll tell you what happens too is you get tired. They're having to switch out some guys right now in defense, and they're not going to get them off the field in time.
They're not. Parker again's got a hole inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, they had a free play there. They had Davis had 13 guys on the field because they couldn't get those defenders
Did they
off.
throw a flag on that? I believe
Yeah,
they did. Yes,
far
they
into the
did.
field there.
Yeah, they got caught. Great job by Weber to keep that tempo going. And
was there an extra flag thrown at the end right here too? That referee, I think we're going to have 2 separate penalties. There may have been some extracurricular at the end of the play too. I think someone may have gotten a little mouthy with the ref, or because that flag came just right out at the end.
They're sorting this out right now. We'll patiently wait for the call.
And this is tough too when you're trying to run tempo. You get a penalty like this. Even if it is on the defense, everybody gets to stand around, catch their breath a little bit. You lose a little bit of that momentum. Some complicated penalty calls right here.
We have illegal substitution on Davis. That penalty is going to be declined. We have a dead ball. We have an unsportsmanlike on Davis. Number 50, that is his first of the game. Half the distance.
That's a good 25 yards of penalties right there. I mean, that's a killer. And if you're Davis's head coach, if you're Coach Peary, you pull 50 off the field, and they did. And you say, hey, this is a Region 1 game here. We're on the road. You got to give us a better chance than that. You cannot get mouthy with the refs. You cannot get in somebody's face.
So Weber's offense all the way up inside the 14-yard line, inside the 15. Now in the red zone. Kachakarny takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Parker. Parker's got room. Dancing around right around the 10-yard line. Parker looked like he might have been taken down for a loss, but did a great job. He's shifty.
Yeah, you know
and
what?
He created a gain.
That's about as far as you can run to only get about 4 yards. Or 3, I guess, maybe. I mean, but you know what? Like, he is absolutely dodging all of these defenders. It's really fun to watch.
His lateral quickness is elite. And he's got a lot of patience, and then he'll suddenly just burst through that hole. Kachakarny pitches it inside. That's technically a pass. Down to the 5.
That's the pain kid.
Yep. When they bring him in, he's not there to watch.
Yeah, and you know, you're going to go 3rd and short here. But take a wild guess who might end up getting this ball. I mean,
yep.
Pretty easy to pick up 1.5 yards.
And they're going to give him some help in the backfield. Parker.
Oh my goodness,
Davis gets a stop.
I mean, the first time you could get a TFL on Dyson, and my goodness, they make the stop right there. Now it's 4th and 3, 4th and 4.
They're going to have to kick a field goal. So the Davis defense comes up with a big stop on 3rd down.
Oh, that's huge. And, you know, that's a killer to be able to be driving like that and then just get it stopped up 3rd and 1. You've been converting that all night.
Weber's got a good one, though. Alex Johnson, now we got a flag. What is this? Is that on the defense?
Well, pre-snap, you usually...
Dead ball. We have disconcerting the snapper.
That's a first down.
Number 50 on the defense. Half the distance.
Scratch that. No field goal attempt. Weber's back on the field with their offense with a new set of downs.
Look, I know that you have your guys on defense, but on this one drive, you have one player who has basically either kept the drive alive. I mean, that is huge. And what that is he's faking the snap count for that center and for the quarterback. And they catch you doing that, and it's bad news. They go half the distance. That's an automatic.
That's a huge play call, especially after the TFL. And now Weber's got a shot at the end zone. It'll be goal to go from the 3-yard line.
What? I don't know if because it was a half the distance penalty.
Well, they're going to measure it.
Yeah, and I think that it might still be 4th and short here, depending on where that spot is.
This is interesting.
They're going to do the measure, but
so it's not an automatic. It is not automatic. There are no automatics.
But it is a first.
They gave it to him. Yeah. So we don't have to worry or speculate about what they're going to do if it was short. First down and goal from the 3.
Absolutely killer. That's tough. These kids get so pumped up about making these plays and getting in there and being a part of it. And, you know, you get into these rivalry games, it gets a little messy. And
3:57 to play in the half. First and goal from the 3. Kachakarny hands it off.
Take a wild guess.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Weber. For the 3rd time tonight, Dyson Parker scores. And the Warriors are back within 3 with the point after coming up.
Yeah, any question who that ball's going to go to, and they've been hitting that left edge so much tonight, JJ. It's like they're not even trying to go to the right. They say, hey, we see something on that left side. We'll take advantage. They've sealed it off every time. Easy touchdown.
So now Johnson comes back for the extra point. And it's good.
Well, so far you're keeping up with my end of the deal. I told you the only reason I'm coming out here is for big point scores.
You got what you wanted.
All right.
We are honoring your contract, Alex. We've got games. A shootout here in the Region 1 opener.
It can't just be blowouts either. Give me the close games. I appreciate you scheduling this one for me.
Both of these teams just loaded with talent. This is fun to watch. This is great high school football.
Well, you see one, and really, ultimately, though, too, this is 2 different styles, even though, right now, Weber says, hey, you know what, we're just going to lean on Dyson Parker. Davis says we have about 10 guys we can throw to. We're going to keep doing it. And neither team has decided to stop the other one yet.
Another touchback.
3:51 left here, JJ. I think this is one that obviously that's more than enough time for Davis to be able to score. Be interesting to see how they manage this clock, or if you're just Davis and you say, hey, look, we're not going to mess around and try to manage the clock. We're just going to try to score as quickly as we can. It's worked all night. That might be what they do. None of this ground and pound stuff.
Oh, no.
Leave that to Weber. They can run the ball.
That's not the Davis style, at least with these guys. They spread out that Weber defense again. Here comes Bessinger. Pressure's coming. Can they get to him? No, he just steps up in the pocket. Over the middle, tipped. Intercepted. Picked off. The ball was tipped. And Weber comes down with the interception. Devin Nielsen has it. What a turn of events here in Pleasant View.
So Davis got one of those, a tip drill interception for them in the secondary. And guess what? Weber
who got
responded.
the tip? I missed who got the tip.
Did the same exact thing. It might have, Bessinger stepped up. He stayed behind that line of scrimmage, made sure he could make that throw. I didn't see who touched it either, but only the second interception of the season here. It looks like number 11.
Is that Parker?
Was that Dyson Parker on that play?
Parker did that? Here he goes in the run. Down to the 25. I was trying to identify the number of tipped. It was Dyson Parker. Playing linebacker. Step back in coverage.
When you ask a guy to do everything, they really do.
I don't have 2 11s on my roster, so that has to be Dyson Parker. Here he goes again. They are running the same play over and over again and daring Davis to stop it, and they cannot.
They have not. That's another pickup. That's the 7-8 yard run again. And, boy, Dyson Parker has hit the conditioning in the offseason. They're asking him to play every down and to take the ball every down. And he's doing it. He's put the whole team on his back right now. Kudos to that left side of the line, too. They're seeing something.
Butt.
They're pushing some of these Davis defenders around. And some of these guys are way bigger than they are. Doesn't matter. Weber's been pushing these guys around on that left side all night long.
Weber driving to take the lead here at their homecoming against their rival, Davis. Oh, we got movement. So, a mistake for Weber.
Yeah, that's that right guard. He stood up immediately and said, no, that was me.
Dead ball. False start on the offense, number 79. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Sometimes
the 25.
25 yard.
Just short of the 25.
It's almost like you keep waiting for them to set up for something else with that play, but they just keep going back to it again. Why not?
Davis showing pressure. Kachakarny drops it. He's going to quickly toss it over to Parker, who's got room to run. Inside the 20, down to the 16. Considering the circumstances, they'll take that.
With a lot of concentration by Kachakarny on that. When the ball hits the turf, he has a defender in his face. He still swings it to the outside to Dyson Parker, who was able to make that catch and turn it into positive yards.
They go tempo. They go Parker in the middle of the defense. Inside the 10, inside the 5. Down to the 5-yard line. That's a first down.
Have you seen anybody else working that hard tonight? I mean, the guy's turning his legs. Nobody's able to stop him. Phenomenal running by Dyson Parker tonight. My heavens.
What a first half by Dyson Parker. He's got all 3 of Weber's touchdowns. He tipped the ball that was intercepted. That's going to create points here. And I'll be shocked if he doesn't score this touchdown if they score. Down 2, Weber.
Going
under
heavy.
2 minutes to play in the half. Kachakarny to Parker. Parker cuts up at the goal line. Short. They mark him short of the goal line. And around the 1 yard line.
Well, talk about a curveball. They ran it to the right side this time, JJ. I was shocked. They mixed it up they still handed off to Parker Dyson Parker, but they ended up having that right side open up because they've been going heavy on the left side for the Davis defense. They're keeping them guessing. You know who's going to get the ball. You just don't know where.
What a beautiful setting. Look at that view here in Pleasant View. There's a reason why I call this town that. It's north of Ogden.
It's the kind of night you bring your homecoming date to.
Fire. This is beautiful.
Bring your homecoming date and say, remember when we went to that Davis Weber game? It was so beautiful that night.
This is a great night. This is fun to be here.
Yeah, the Weber student section all decked out in black. They have the black paint on the arms. They've done the black handprints all over their faces and on their bodies. My goodness. This is a wild group here. Guess who's quiet, though? The Davis student section over there. It's a lot smaller, obviously. They came up from Kaysville, but
that side of the field filling in. Got more fans over than the Davis side. Here we go. Kajikarni. Parker tackled quickly. A TFL in the backfield. Nice play.
Yeah. They decided to do something different on that one, and they brought the far edge over. I think that might have been Riker Sheffield. They decided, look, if we're not going to be able to get guys straight in front of them, we're going to bring that edge pressure from the opposite side. And that was the only thing.
Clock operator. 1-3-1 on the game clock. 1:31 on the game clock, please.
So suddenly we got a 3rd and goal from the 5. Timeout is called to decide what they're going to do here.
So now what do? You get down to the 1, and you're not in the end zone. What do you do?
I'm riding my hot hand. I'm going Parker
Punch it in
to the left side. They got you here. You think eventually Davis is going to figure it out, but
there's those 2 plays, both of them within the last 2 times that Weber's come down inside the 5-yard line. It's been the only 2 times that Davis defense has gotten a tackle for a loss, and so it makes you start to look at it again if you're Weber's head coach and saying, you could kick the field goal, take the lead right before the half, but that's no fun, isn't it?
Remember who gets the ball to start the second half.
That's Weber's ball.
That's right. This is a huge play here. And we got a flag already.
You got to convert that turnover into points, too. And if this flag goes backward. Usually those pre-snap penalties are...
Ball foul. Illegal substitution. White. Half the distance. Repeat. 3rd down.
So that doesn't give you a freebie on the 1st down, but it does take you to the 1.5. I mean, you have had 2 inside the 5-yard line penalties for Davis in the last 2 times. One of them made it a 1st down instead of a field goal kick. Those are awful, awful mistakes by the Davis defense.
Weber trying to take advantage. 3rd and goal. Kajikarni throws incomplete. No flags.
Look, I get it. You want to mix it up. You've tried to set it up all night, but if there's one thing that Davis has the advantage of, it's those defensive backs. You know, they're bigger, a little bit stronger than those guys. And look, I'm with you, JJ. You ride the hot hand there. I get it. They made it. They made Dyson Parker the dummy on that one and said, hey, we'll throw it. But Davis was ready for it, and they caused that 4th down.
So Weber will settle for the field goal, but this would give them the lead with 90 seconds left to play in the half. No doubt about it. And from 19 yards, Alex Johnson with a tremendous leg gives the Weber Warriors a 24-23 lead. So Weber gets points off the turnover.
Yeah, look at what we have here, too. The 1-point difference is what? It's that 2-point conversion that was
that failed 2-point conversion attempt.
Not a good time to do a fake, and it's the reason why you don't do it in that time of the game and that side of the field either. But Minute 27 for Bessinger. That might be too much,
That feels
right?
like a lifetime for this Davis offense. No problem. So the challenge for Weber is to get Davis off the field without scoring points before the half, because the Warriors get the ball to open the second half, so this could be a huge swing for them. That's why that opportunity to get a touchdown there was so huge for them. But they will take the points in the lead for now. Now Davis. This feels like a pretty important possession for the Darts. Chance to take the lead before the half.
Now, a couple things happening right here, too. Bessinger doesn't throw interceptions very often. Threw his second one of the season right there. So these are moments you're not necessarily used to, right? If you're on the Davis offense, you don't have a lot of turnovers by your quarterback. You aren't trailing hardly ever, except for when you're playing one of the best teams in the state with Lehigh down at their place. It's been a while since Davis has trailed in a football game, and they're being tested right here. They got to figure it out.
1:27 left in the half. Davis begins this drive from their own 20-yard line. Can they go 80 yards in 90 seconds? Bessinger throws another one high, but it is caught.
Bodie Sparrow has
Nice effort by Bodie Sparrow. If you're going to throw high, he's the kind of athlete that can go up and get it.
I'm not sure there's anybody else in this stadium who would have made that catch either.
Wow. It looked overthrown, but not with Sparrow. Bessinger, four-man rush, throws it outside, incomplete. That'll stop the clock at 1:09.
Yeah, Weber doing this either 3 or only 4-man rush. They decided, hey, look, try to get us some pressure with 3 or 4 guys, but we're going to roll our dice on trying to get some defenders on the numbers that Davis has on the outside, because what they end up doing, even if they have Talbot in the backfield, even if they have Baggett in the backfield, those guys will go on routes almost every other play. So you have 4 or 5 receivers on every play for Bessinger.
Handoff, Talbot. It's about 6 or 7 yards before he's taken out of bounds.
Talbot's a hard runner himself. I mean, the only difference is that Weber's had the ball. They've controlled the tempo the entire game. And they run the football so much that they keep that ball a lot longer, keep the ball out of the hands of that Davis offense, and that's the smart way to do it.
It's third down. The Weber crowd turns out the volume. 1:02 left. Bessinger, plenty of time over the middle. Catch is made.
Sparrow.
They don't get him. Sparrow's down the sideline. Sparrow out of bounds. Past the 40-yard line. Down to the 37.
You know, there's a reason that he's getting offers all across the state and the country in college, because he's bigger than most of the guys out there. And then as soon as he turned that corner, you saw that speed. Look at this. As he turns that corner, the only thing that's going to keep him is the boundary. And they forced him out there. But, man, 3 plays, they've already gone 45 yards.
And he stopped the clock with 53 seconds left. Plenty of time for this Davis offense. 1st and 10 from the Weber 37. Talbot in the flat. Try to throw a screen there, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, Easton Frazier was there. That was a beautiful play call. I don't know if you heard the footsteps. He had one defender who was going to get to him. Got to rely on your offensive line to make sure that you feel safe enough right there, but he's got to pull that catch down. He would have been going for a good 15, 20 yards.
Second and 10. Bessinger. Pressure comes. He avoids it. Now he's going to run. Still running. Inside the 30. Down to the 22, 21-yard line. Clock will run as soon as they set the chains.
You don't love it as a coach to see your quarterback get out there, but that is such a big body. I mean, he wants to hit guys, and he went out there and did it.
Bessinger, we got to stop and play. We got a flag, probably an illegal formation, but we'll let the officials say no. It looks like it's going Davis's way.
Yeah, usually those pre-snap penalties, although I don't know what's got.
We have a dead ball foul. Number 7 lined up for Davis in the neutral zone. Encroachment.
There you go.
5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
The ultra rare encroachment on the offense. You don't see that very often.
And that starts the clock. So the clock is running. Davis doesn't seem to notice. Now they do.
They only have
And
one.
now Coach Perry
Yeah.
calls a timeout. So he slid down, and they were going to start the clock when the change was set, but he had the penalty. Well, it starts again after the penalty's set, once they blew the whistle. So Davis didn't get the sense that that was the case, and it cost him a few seconds here.
Timeout, Davis.
Yeah, and you know what? If you had a play call already, you make that play call, you get it in there, you run the play, and then you use that last timeout. So it's killer in two ways. You don't get a play off, and then you have to take your timeout right here earlier than you wanted to.
Bessinger, rush comes. He avoids it again. Looking to the end zone. Throws it over the middle. Catch is made. Nice move inside the 10.
Clock stops just to move the chains. They're going to have enough time to clock it there.
Jackson Idaho.
He had about 5 guys raising their hands, waving at him. Throw it to me.
Bessinger gets the snap off. 9 seconds. 8. Throws over the middle into the end zone.
Oh, wow.
Caught! Touchdown, Davis!
Easton Frazier.
Frazier again!
Making up for that drop on the screen. What a play. And you know what? It was into
Wow.
traffic, too, wasn't it? That
Yep.
throw was into traffic. And what a catch by Frazier.
What a drive by the Darts. 80 yards in 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Jeez. We wondered if it was enough time, and it was definitely enough time.
By 4 seconds. That's heartbreak for Weber. They're
going for
a
two
chance
here.
to keep Davis out of the end zone and take possession in the first or the second half.
They're going to try to get that 2 points back again.
Yes, they are. Bessinger. Little trick play here. Bessinger was the throw. Still trying to get there. They don't. Weber gets the tackle there. That's a huge play.
No, they pitched it back to Bodie Sparrow. It was going to be a throwback to Bessinger. Too much pressure, though.
So the gadget play did not work on the 2-point conversion, and Davis leads by 5 with 4 seconds left in the half.
I'm pretty sure that was Tyler Payne, number 9 in the backfield there. And if there's going to be somebody who's going to match up physically with Bodie Sparrow on the field, it's going to be him. But my goodness, it was such a massive drive right there by Davis. And
Bessinger, so many times on that drive, Alex, avoided the pressure, avoided the rush, made plays with his feet, either escaping the pocket and throwing a nice ball or running himself. Kept that drive alive, and by 4 seconds, got into the end zone to give Davis the lead.
Well, and you get behind it too because the clock management was not good at the end of that drive, and they were still able to, with 8 seconds left, he gets that throw off. My goodness, into traffic. Like I said, I thought for sure that was either going to be a pick or an incompletion.
No return. So Weber has time for one play from the 20. I expect a kneel down, but we'll see.
Run it off to the left side there, JJ.
You know what? Why not?
What are you going to do? I mean, like,
It's been working.
the playbook,
I don't know if it'll work for 80 here, but
it
worth a try.
Doesn't matter. Let your dog eat, man. Let's go. They sit on it.
They do the right thing. They take a knee. And we've come to the end of the half, and what a half it was, Alex.
Yeah.
53 total points on the board, 29-24. Davis leads Weber. This game was everything we expected and more.
Yeah, and you know what? It's exactly what you had brought up before, in the first half, before we even kicked off. It was, these are teams that don't make a lot of mistakes. Let's see who makes fewer mistakes. And right now, Davis has shot themselves in the foot a couple times and have given Weber enough times to be able to get in the end zone, to score off of really bad mistakes. I mean, if you're Coach Peary, you got to talk to some of your guys and say, hey, you're extending these guys' drives. The only time we've gotten stops and the defense has committed penalties, it has not been a good deal.
Both teams with one turnover that contributed to points. But what a half. 29-24, Davis leads Weber. Before we take a break, we've got a big, giant check to give away. Who doesn't love big, giant checks? There it is right there. KSL Sports is streaming tonight's game on the KSL Sports app, the KSL Plus app, and KSLSports.com as part of the broadcast. Utah Community Credit Union is proud to present a scholarship to an amazing student from each school that KSL is visiting this year. This week's winner is right there, Ashton Grimley from Weber High School. Ashton's teachers say he exemplifies academic excellence and leadership, consistently maintaining a high GPA while actively contributing to Weber High School in his role as a student body officer. Ashton is also an integral part of DECA and FBLA and has a passion for sales. His commitment to personal growth, community impact, and infectious personality, as you can see right there, make Ashton Grimley a perfect candidate for this scholarship. Congratulations to Ashton, and thanks to Utah Community Credit Union for their support of local high school athletes. UCCU, love where you bank. That's a half here at Weber High School in Pleasant View, Utah, and what a view it is. Don't miss the view of the second half. This is going to be a good one. Stick around for the second half between Davis and Weber after this.
You've been told that running is punishment. Let's help you make it your superpower. At Salt Lake Running Company, we're here to help you become a better athlete. From the gym to the track, SLRC offers all student athletes a 10% discount, free rewards, free custom shoe fits, and inserts that fit into athletic shoes and cleats. For 30 years, SLRC's award-winning customer service has helped student athletes find the perfect fit that keeps them training and competing. Shop in-store or online at slrc.com today.
We love high school football, and here they are, the Game Night Live highlight reel.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Here are KSL Sports Rewind's top plays and performances from last week. Number 5, we've got some special plays. Springville at Timpview. Red Devils punting here, and, well, that was a mistake. Keenan Pula gets around the edge, up the sideline. He'll turn this back in, and Keenan Pula takes this 83 yards on the punt return to the house as Timpview routs Springville 45-0.
Catch is made on the punt. A dangerous returner here. Pula down the sideline. He's going to take it all the way. 90 yards for the touchdown, Keenan Pula.
Manti at Juan Diego. Close game early, and you know what they say, once you pop, the fun don't stop. Ty Pringle pops this one and takes it 95 yards as Manti comes up to Salt Lake Valley and gets the big road win over Juan Diego.
And kickoff is taken by Pringle at the 5. Pringle comes up the middle, hits the seam hard, and Ty Pringle's got a leg. Newport, the only man to beat. He beats it. Touchdown.
And finally, Northridge at Viewmont. A pair of undefeated teams went toe-to-toe and off the toe after the early Northridge touchdown. Jordan Jones looks to his left, and Jones back to the middle. He's got some room. Jordan Jones takes this 91 yards for Viewmont to get a big answer in the first quarter. We'll see more on this one later.
And it'll be fielded here on the far side, and finding a lane is Jones. Spin move at the 40. Jones accelerates inside the 20, and he takes it all the way. Touchdown, Viewmont. Jordan Jones, my goodness. Let's freaking go.
Number 4, we've got some defensive standouts. West Jordan at Layton. This one popped up, heads up. Anthony Fale coming up with the interception for the West Jordan defense. Farmington hosting Mountain Ridge in the red zone. Phoenix were driving in the first half, and check out this pick. Cannon Montgomery, what a snag. You have to see this again to appreciate the impressive interception from Montgomery.
They don't want to settle for 3. Peterson over the middle. It is intercepted. Brought down by Mountain Ridge, and they'll turn it over inside the red zone.
Number 3, Highland at Skyline. This one is crazy. This ball ends up loose in the end zone. You know what they say, play until you hear the whistle, right? Did you hear a whistle? I didn't hear a whistle. Picked up, and Skyline looking for the big return. It's Jay Tupua scooping up the loose ball in the end zone and takes it 99 yards. Technically longer, but officially 99 yards on the fumble, scoop, and score for the Skyline Eagles. Number 2, we've got some elusivity. Mountain Ridge at Farmington. Nice little throw here, Grayton Dumas, and good luck finding a DJ that can shake like this. Dumas, nice sidestepping on the reception for Mountain Ridge.
Empty backfield as Bingham takes the snap. He'll drop back, gets it out to Dumas. Dumas making a move. Past the 6, gets the first, and he's through. Dumas with a huge play. Sprinkle a little sugar out there, my man.
West at Alta. This game late in the fourth quarter. West trailing, and I'm a big Louis Hamilton fan. Louis. Oh, no. He got to go as West goes on to win at Alta.
Louis Hamilton, RB1 for this team. Lopati floats one up for Hamilton. Hamilton's got room to run as he breaks a tackle and works his way to the 15. Now the 10 breaks another one into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. Louis Hamilton.
Crimson Cliffs taking on Desert Hills. Last week I called McCord Christiansen a Mack truck. Well, Big Mac is back in our top 5. How does he not go down? Born ready, built like a Mac, whatever you want to say about Christiansen, it's not enough. He's your top rusher in the state through the season midpoint.
4th down, Mustangs going for it.
Jersey could be.
They give it to Christiansen, and he is going to break free, and he's going to score.
You got to be kidding me.
He is taking it to the barnyard, baby. How did he break away?
And finally, back to Farmington late in this one possession game. Mountain Ridge still in this. They just need a stop. They just need a stop. They just need to stop. And they can't get it. Lucas Peterson takes this one 60-plus yards to the house. It put the nail in the coffin as Farmington gets their first win of the year. A big win over Mountain Ridge.
10-3. Phoenix lead. Peterson bounces out to his left. He's going nowhere as he's wrestled. He escapes. He escapes and he gets the first and he breaks through and he's going to take it all the way. Lucas Peterson, his second touchdown of the night. And in the most dramatic fashion. Pandemonium here as Peterson just keeps those legs turning. And the Lamborghini scamper off into the end zone, and he puts an exclamation point on this one for Farmington, and pending the PAT, they go ahead 16-3 with 49 seconds left to play.
And your top plays of the week, we head back to Viewmont. Nye looking down the middle, and check out this grab by Chase Harris. Harris had a great game, but this one, he catches through the DB's arm. An incredible grab, as we'll have a couple more angles of this as Harris got Northridge on the board early, and Northridge with the big win in region play.
5A still has 6 remaining undefeated teams. As Nye looking for the end zone. He's got Harris out there, and he makes the catch. Touchdown Knights.
Goodness gracious, Harris or Harry Potter casting a spell, getting that reception. Way to go on that catch.
Early in that West Alta game, Lopati looking for the long ball, and Jackson Chawala comes back for it and pulls it out of the middle of the air. Have another look at this one. Wow! As West gets the big win on the road.
And Lopati takes snap, avoids the sack, stays on his feet, throws a Hail Mary down the field, and it's a game of catch. Did he make the play? He did. Unbelievable.
Jackson is having himself a game. What a phenomenal catch and a phenomenal throw there by Lopati as he avoided a sack.
If you've got a top player performance you'd like to nominate, send them to us via your favorite social media platform at KSL Sports Rewind.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
You've been told that running is punishment. Let's help you make it your superpower. At Salt Lake Running Company, we're here to help you become a better athlete. From the gym to the track, SLRC offers all student athletes a 10% discount, free rewards, free custom shoe fits, and inserts that fit into athletic shoes and cleats. For 30 years, SLRC's award-winning customer service has helped student athletes find the perfect fit that keeps them training and competing. Shop in-store or online at slrc.com today.
We love high school football, and here they are, the Game Night Live highlight reel.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Here are KSL Sports Rewind's top plays and performances from last week. Number 5, we've got some special plays. Springville at Timpview. Red Devils punting here, and, well, that was a mistake. Keenan Pula gets around the edge, up the sideline. He'll turn this back in, and Keenan Pula takes this 83 yards on the punt return to the house as Timpview routs Springville 45-0.
Catch is made on the punt. A dangerous returner here. Pula down the sideline. He's going to take it all the way. 90 yards for the touchdown, Kenan Pula.
Manti at Juan Diego. Close game early, and you know what they say, once you pop, the fun don't stop. Ty Pringle pops this one and takes it 95 yards as Manti comes up to Salt Lake Valley and gets the big road win over Juan Diego.
And kickoff is taken by Pringle at the 5. Pringle comes up the middle, hits the seam hard, and Ty Pringle's got a leg. Newport, the only man to beat. He beats it. Touchdown.
And finally, Northridge at Viewmont. A pair of undefeated teams went toe-to-toe and off the toe after the early Northridge touchdown. Jordan Jones looks to his left. And, Jones back to the middle. He's got some room. Jordan Jones takes this 91 yards for Viewmont to get a big answer in the first quarter. We'll see more on this one later.
And it'll be fielded here on the far side, and finding a lane is Jones. Spin move at the 40. Jones accelerates inside the 20, and he takes it all the way. Touchdown, Viewmont!
Jordan Jones, my goodness! Let's freaking go!
Number 4, we've got some defensive standouts. West Jordan at Layton. This one popped up, heads up. Anthony Foley coming up with the interception for the West Jordan defense. Farmington hosting Mountain Ridge in the red zone. Phoenix were driving in the first half. And check out this pick. Cannon Montgomery, what a snag. You have to see this again to appreciate the impressive interception from Montgomery.
They don't want to settle for 3. Peterson over the middle. It is intercepted. Brought down by Mountain Ridge, and they'll turn it over inside the red zone.
Number 3, Highland at Skyline. This one is crazy. This ball ends up loose in the end zone. You know what they say, play until you hear the whistle, right? Did you hear a whistle? I didn't hear a whistle. Picked up, and Skyline looking for the big return. It's Jay Tupua scooping up the loose ball in the end zone and takes it 99 yards. Technically longer, but officially 99 yards on the fumble, scoop, and score for the Skyline Eagles. Number 2, we've got some elusivity. Mountain Ridge at Farmington. Nice little throw here, Grayton Dumas. And good luck finding a DJ that can shake like this. Dumas, nice sidestepping on the reception for Mountain Ridge.
Empty backfield as Bingham takes the snap. He'll drop back, gets it out to Dumas. Dumas making a move. Past the 6, gets the first, and he's through. Dumas with a huge play.
Sprinkle a little sugar out there, my man.
West at Alta. This game late in the fourth quarter. West trailing, and I'm a big Louis Hamilton fan. Louis. Oh, no. He got to go as West goes on to win at Alta.
Louis Hamilton, RB1 for this team. Lopati floats one up for Hamilton. Hamilton's got room to run as he breaks a tackle and works his way to the 15. Now the 10 breaks another one into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Louis Hamilton.
Crimson Cliffs taking on Desert Hills. Last week I called McCord Christiansen a Mack truck. Well, Big Mac is back in our top 5. How does he not go down? Born ready, built like a Mac, whatever you want to say about Chris Jansen, it's not enough. He's your top rusher in the state through the season midpoint.
4th down, Mustangs going for it.
Jersey could be.
They give it to Chris.
Welcome back to Pleasant View, Weber High School. Homecoming here for the Warriors. And what a game we've had so far. An electric first half. Davis leads Weber 29-24 in this Region 1 opener. Jeremiah Jensen, Alex Curie with you. And Alex, what a first half that was. Both teams show what they can do offensively and defensively.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting to see where the adjustments are at the half. You know, if you're Davis, you feel pretty good about the idea that you've got quite a bit on offense you can do. And you feel like if you're on defense, you go, hey, look, you just have to stop one guy. I mean, that's at least what's been their biggest deal, of course, in the first half, was to be able to have that type of a running attack.
Yeah, Dyson Parker was
just
electric in the first half.
Phenomenal, and they haven't been able to stop him. And so, man, I just hope it's as electric as it was the first half.
If so, you're in for a treat. This will be fun either way. Here we go. Second half about to kick off. The Weber Warriors will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. That's why the last 90 seconds of the first half were so important. Weber had first and goal at the 3-yard line, could not get in, had to settle for a field goal. They did take the 24-23 lead, but with 90 seconds left, Davis marched down the field, and with 4 seconds left, Traden Bissinger found Frazier in the end zone for the second time in the game, and they take a 29-24 lead. The 2-point conversion was no good. So the Darts with a 5-point lead as we begin second half play here.
Gosh, you looked good right there, didn't you? That was a good look by you. That's a nice looking blue shirt. I don't know who got that
blue
shot
does
of us.
pop.
I don't know how they got that shot of us from up here.
So I went blue tonight.
You look good.
In an attempt to be neutral because Weber's black and red, and Davis, of course, we know their colors. They're gold and white.
I went full
I got
black.
crap in here because, like, hey, you're wearing a Fremont shirt.
Yeah,
I was like, God!
If that's one thing these two teams can come together on, it's the hate of Fremont.
It's not a Fremont shirt. That's all right. You love the rivalries up here. That's why you love high school football. Yeah, blue's not a color you wear around here, and I did not get the memo. Trust me, it's just a KL Shill shirt, not Fremont. Although we love Fremont, we love the Silver Wolves. We love everybody across the state here on Game Night Live.
JJ wants 0 enemies tonight. Please do not at him. Please do not email JJ.
Or do. Why not? I got plenty of time this weekend.
I love it.
All right, 1st and 10. Catch it, Carney. Throws it outside. Elmore with the catch. He's got room. 30. He slowed down, but we got a flag.
Yeah, and you can see a dejected member of that offense for Weber, because that thing was wide open, but I think it was wide open because there may have been a hold there on the edge. But nice way to mix it up, though, right at the beginning of the half. They go, hey, look, they're going to keep running the football, and they throw it right off the bat.
I imagine Davis tried to make some adjustments to deal with the running of Dyson Parker, who I'm pretty sure went over 100 yards in the first half.
Oh. Hey, what number? On the offense, number 0. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Yeah, not a good way to start just because of the backup of the, you go backward 10 yards, obviously, to start things off, and never how you want to do it.
And this drive was so important for Weber as they try to keep pace with Davis. They go to Parker. Parker makes up for the penalty. Back to the even further. It's a 12-yard gain by Dyson Parker, who's having a monster night. He already has a 200-yard plus game this season. So
they make the adjustment and say, hey, they're going to run it to the left with Dyson Parker. And then they do it again, and he gets 12 yards immediately right off the bat.
Davis still can't stop it. Parker left has been working all night long.
Well, you got to give credit to the other line, too. And shout out to the big guys, because that left side is holding it down.
Davis shows pressure. Kachakarni has trouble with the snap, and he has to eat it.
Yeah, it's a low snap, too.
Technically, it's a sack.
Low snap. I mean, that one's tough to handle, and the timing is so important on that. You got Davis trying to come off that other edge to try to give themselves an advantage, another defender to go at Parker, and As soon as that timing gets thrown off, throws the whole play off, and 3rd and long now.
3rd and 11 to be exact. A couple mistakes here by Weber on this opening drive of the second half. See what they can do on 3rd down. Kachakarny has time now. The pressure gets to him, but he makes a nice play. Kachakarny, where are they going to mark it? It's just short of the 30.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough.
That's a tough one for Weber. Nice play by Kachakarny to find the open receiver, but he's going to come up a yard short. What is Coach Cannon to do here?
You know, it's a tough part of the field to try to go for.
You give Davis the ball back and you fall behind 2 touchdowns. This game's basically over.
Yeah. The thing is going for it on 4th down inside your own territory.
We have a flag, don't we?
As the ball being snapped, both wide. Repeat. 3rd down.
So the conversation we just had was a big waste of time.
Yes. Flag came in late there too. So I don't know what the.
I didn't even see the flag.
Yeah, the illegal shift. The illegal shift happened prior to the snap, but we didn't see it till late. But yeah, I mean, my goodness, that was as good of a play call as you could have had. But the receiver went down. Nobody had touched him. He just had gone down to make that catch, and then comes up short of the 1st. But now they got to pick up 15.
Weber back to the 14-yard line. They've got to get to the 30 to keep this drive alive. Kachakarny takes a shot over the middle. Ooh, the defenders come up and meet the receiver right at the same time. Scary play, but a good job by that Davis defense. Ethan Lockwood was there.
Lockwood was there. Sparrow was there at that safety spot. He came up, and then they put 2 back to receive this ball for this punt. Looks like it might be Baggett and I don't see the other guy.
It's Jackson Idaho, right?
Oh, yeah. 88, Jackson Idaho. Yep.
Weber has to punt. Low punt. Takes a bounce.
Idaho.
Idaho's got it. Dances around a few Weber players. He's finally wrapped up, but he is in Weber territory, and he's still churning. What a strong kid. All the way to the 43-yard line of Weber. So Davis starts with a short field.
We were ready to call that play down a handful of times, and he just kept churning. There's a reason this kid's so big and strong, a reason why they go to him so much on the offense.
Jackson Idaho, a sophomore. Yeah. How spoiled are you to have Idaho and Sparrow as sophomores on this offense? They're going to set records.
And they've combined for over 700 yards of receiving, and they've already combined for 17 of Bessinger's touchdowns, too.
Wow. Can you imagine the numbers that they're going to put up combined as varsity players at Davis? Pressure comes. Bessinger throws it. Catch is made. Nice shoestring tackle.
Yeah. Baggett sure-handed. The ball came out of the end, but it was caused by the ground. So nice to have that outlet to Baggett because he's so sure-handed. And Bessinger put it out pretty far in front of him, but those Baggett kids are athletes, man.
They've had a few at that program. I've lost count. Sure, his parents will send me an email reminder. Shout out to the Baggett family.
Sure his older brother Easton, I think, was the latest before Tyson.
Ooh, incomplete pass, dangerous pass. So Weber's forced Davis into a 3rd down and 4 here.
Yeah,
and here comes the crowd.
That's Tyler Payne in that middle linebacker position right there, and that could have easily been picked off. Bessinger's lucky he didn't have the 2nd pick of the night.
Probably 2-down territory here, so let's see what they do on 3rd. Talbot's in motion. Bessinger in the pocket. It starts to collapse, and he's going down. Weber gets the sack. Number 16 with the sack, Cannon Pluim.
Yeah, you know, this has happened a couple times tonight. Bessinger's been able to avoid it, and that is he avoids the pressure, steps up, and it's the defender coming off of their blocks behind them. You know, if you're no lineman, you can only hold that block for so long, and especially if your quarterback gets in front of you, your defender now just peels right off of you, and he was able to make that sack. But Bessinger usually is able to get out of that. Wasn't able to do it that time. What a huge sack on third down.
First sack for Weber. It forces a punt. Fair catch is called for. Catch is made at the 11-yard line.
It's 2 punts in a row? This is not what I signed up for, JJ.
What happened? I guess halftime adjustments.
Yeah, it happens.
Good job for both coaching staffs. They made them, and that was such a huge play on the sack because even if they pick up 1 or 2 yards there, I guarantee you they're going for it on fourth down, and because you put them in a 4th and long situation, they had no choice but to punt there. So a great play by the Weber defense. Here comes the offense back on the field as they'll try to take the lead back once again. 8:07 left to play third quarter. Weber trails by 5 at their homecoming against their rivals, the Davis Darts. Kachikarni, handoff, Parker. Up the middle, nice gain on first down,
Still
about
going.
5 yards.
I'm surprised they blew the whistle when they did because he was still churning. And I think his shoe came off.
Lost the shoe.
Yep. That's probably the only way to get Dyson Parker off the field. Rip his shoe off.
Whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes.
I don't think that was one of the halftime adjustments. There's just
How are we going to stop Dyson Parker? Well, how about you rip off his shoe? Let's try that.
Well, we know what happens if you throw it. You get a penalty. You just can't throw it.
Oh, who throws a shoe? Seriously. Kachikarni hands off. Up the middle. Nice run.
Yeah, plug and play on this offense. They've got this system down. They'll hand the ball off to whomever. They'll seal that edge off.
Is that Caden Lindholm that carried?
Caden Lindholm, yeah. He's only had about 15 carries this year, but every time he gets it, he gets about 7 yards per, and that's right along the lines what he did. He picked up the first down, and that's all he was asked to do.
So Weber back in sync offensively after that penalty-plagued first drive. Looking at a new set of downs here at the 22. Still a long way to go to take the lead. But a good start on this drive. Kachikarni. Good snap this time. Throws it down the middle. It's open. Incomplete and a flag.
Yeah, Bodie Sparrow showed up on the play with his hands up, but even if you jump into the guy with your hands up, you're going to get called for the PI. That's exactly what he was called on. You can't just hold your hands up in the air and say, I didn't touch him. You can't use your body as a defender also. The referee was right on it, and that was the right call. And you know what? He was open over the middle.
During the play, defensive. Pass interference number 2. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Kachikarni showing off his arm strength. That was a strong throw in duress. The pocket was collapsing quickly, and he was able to get it off.
They had a couple stacked receivers on the right, and both of those receivers took different routes, and Sparrow took the deeper receiver.
Yeah, he got there early.
He could have made the play.
He made contact with the chest before the ball got to the receiver. Kachikarni hands off up the middle. Parker, 9-yard. Well, they're going to give him right at the marker. I think this is a first down.
Yeah, he'll have the first down, and it's a beautiful play. It's been working all night, and you notice too, it's not much of a delay, but it's just enough to give his guys the time to make that hold.
Tempo. Kachikarni throws short. Not the throw he wanted to make there.
They've thrown the ball out here to Elmore on the side a couple of times, just that little swing pass. It's a far throw to make, and it hasn't worked all night. They tried it a couple times in the first half. They just tried it just now, and that's a dangerous one, too.
Davis loads the box. Parker on second down. Decent run. Gets about 4 or 5. Pass midfield.
You know, you put 8 in the box, and you're still able to get 4 or 5 yards per. It's just a dangerous combo.
Credit to this Weber offensive line. They have been terrific tonight.
All night.
Here they go again. Parker dances through the Davis defense inside the 40 down to the 38. It doesn't matter how many they put in the box. This offensive line is moving bodies, and Dyson Parker is having a special night.
Yeah, Dyson Parker reads the guys. He sees where they're at. He rides their tails for a little bit, finds that spot, waits for the defender to make a decision, And it's worked. Going to get a false start right off the bat here, though.
False start. Number 67 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat down.
That kills the tempo, too, JJ. You start going.
The tempo was working.
And you're going quick, and that's kind of a result of trying to speed it up maybe a little bit too much, too.
This front for Weber isn't huge. They're not big guys, but they're really technically sound. But just as I try to give these guys some praise, they have 2 big mistakes.
Dead ball. False start. Number 63 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Yeah. Right tackle. That's the other thing that happens. You go tempo, and then you go up to the line, and maybe that snap count has changed, but maybe you keep it in your head from the play before, and it ends up, you end up being the one that goes. He was surprised. He thought, I'm the only one who knows the snap count here. I can't believe it.
So a great drive is now stymied by a couple of big mistakes. 2 false starts. It's 1st and 20 from the 48. Still in Davis territory. Kachakarni's going to throw. Just a swing pass out to Parker, who gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not much there for Parker. Not a lot in the playbook right now when you're facing 2nd and 20. Let's see what they come up with here. A little easier to defend for Davis. Throw is made, catch is made. Inside the 45. That's Jagger Hammer with the catch.
He's on the all-name team for tonight. Jagger Hammer. I think Davis has a young man named Beef on their roster.
When I got a big job to do, I go rent a Jagger Hammer. Over the middle. Ooh. Incomplete.
Right through his hands.
On 3rd and 20, and this drive comes to an end.
They've gone 3 plays in a row to Jagger Hammer, and that one was just out in front of him. Thought he was going to make a beautiful catch there, but yeah, you got to punt this one away. At some point you think, man, maybe you make it 4-down territory, but those 2 penalties made it to where that decision gets made for you.
All that offense in the first half, now this has turned into a field position battle. This is our 3rd punt of the second half. I don't remember a punt in the first half.
No, and if you're a Davis fan, you probably don't remember many punts at all this year. The team that's with the first half now has 34 touchdowns on the year, JJ. 34 touchdowns.
Wow.
This is game number 4. Or game number 5. Or no, I guess it's 6.
It's game number 6.
Game number 6, they've scored 34 touchdowns.
It's a crazy number. So officially, that's a 33-yard punt. Not what they were looking for there. They'd like to have pinned him a little deeper. He was trying to.
He was trying to angle it, yeah.
Angle it there. He didn't hit it exactly how he wanted. So Davis takes over their own 15. Still good position for Weber's defense here. Bessinger in the pocket, plenty of time now, escapes to the right. Throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, just gets rid of it. That's a smart play. He had some pressure there and doesn't try to run it, doesn't try to be a hero and get tackled for a loss. Instead, gets rid of it there at the boundary. Look at these 2 teams, JJ, slowing each other down and finding out some things how to make a stop.
Who are these guys? I don't even recognize them.
They don't either. The coaches are going,
could we have a scoreless quarter?
No way. No way.
I don't know how to process the possibility. Davis has 4 minutes to change that. 2nd and 10. Bessinger, pressure comes. They're going to run it. Wrapped up quickly. Nice job by the Weber defense. He gets 1 yard on that carry. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and that was Talbot on that run. And he's a tough runner. He goes hard into the line, and I'll tell you, it was opening up and then immediately gets pulled backward. So, yeah, rare 3rd and long here for Davis, and in their own territory, too.
Now going to shift to the right. Tight formation by Davis. Now they're going to send Sparrow in motion. Bessinger looking that way, goes to him. Oh, it's dropped.
Rare drop. You know what he was doing, too? He looked down the field. He as soon as you saw Sparrow in motion,
you knew who it was going to.
He came right through the middle, and there was nobody there to touch him. The ball came across, maybe thrown a little bit behind him, but it hit him in both hands, and he puts it on the turf. A rare drop for one of these guys that's going to be All-State at the end of the year.
Another stop on defense. Weaver forces the punt. This will be the 4th punt of the quarter. 2 for each team. Low snap. He handles it well. A save there by the punter.
Great boot.
They're going to let that bounce. Oh, my gosh. Look at this punt. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. Down to the 13-yard line.
So that's the 15-yard line. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 74-yard punt by the young man.
We just witnessed a 74-yard punt. How's that for flipping the field? What a play.
Wow.
First of all, to have the sense to pick it up off the turf on a low snap and then gets the bounce.
That's when you get
Incredible.
you get over to your returner and you say, hey, look, the ball hit at the 24, 25-yard line. You should get under that thing and catch it. Because it bounced an extra 15, 16 yards. Yeah, so from the 15.
And officially a 71-yard punt. Wow. Kachikarni throws it. Nice stop.
Wow, Bodie Sparrow coming up from that safety spot to make that play.
He's trying to make up for that drop pass.
See, they're mixing it up here. You're not seeing a lot. You're seeing some guys who aren't getting the ball typically in the first half. It was all Dyson Parker in the first half, and now they're mixing it up. But it also has been the least productive on offense that they've been.
Kachikarni taking a shot. Out.
Wow.
Of reach.
That was a great throw.
Elmore, the intended receiver.
And he was just probably a foot and a half past the hands of his receiver. That was a good throw. And it was where the defender couldn't get to it, which makes it such a good throw, too.
He had a step on the defender. It was there. He just overthrew it slightly. 3rd down and 10. Now this game is tightened up. This is not what I expected in the second half. It's been the complete opposite of what we saw in the first half. Great job by both teams to adjust.
Yeah, still a great close game, though. I mean, neither team able to crack the other one's code in the second half.
But we have movement.
Wow, Weaver's just shooting themselves in the foot with these false start penalties.
Yeah.
That's 3 out of the last 5 plays.
Dead ball. False start, number 78 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. We're going to repeat.
So 3rd and 15, pinned deep.
Well, this is how big that punt was. They're at the 8-yard line after that penalty, 7.5 yard line. After being at their own 14.
Kachikarni's going to throw a screen pass. He's got blockers. Can't get there, though. Nice fight. Still going.
Yeah.
But well short. So they're going to have to punt. They tried to give Parker a shot here. And he's been great all night, but he couldn't make up 15 there.
Yeah, and you know, when the play ends up being, you have to change your play calls. You have to shift everything around because you're behind the sticks, but you're also in your own territory, inside your own 10-yard line. It changes all your play calling. It makes it so much more conservative. You've got to, and the defense knows exactly where you're going. Timeout Weaver, it looks like.
Yeah, the play clock was down to 6. And you need your timeouts here. That's
the way this is going, too.
You don't want to have to call a timeout because you couldn't get your punt team in quick enough. That's a rough one. This will be the 5th punt of the quarter.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, obviously Davis isn't used to punting this much. I don't think Weaver is either. I mean,
no.
Both these teams have been moving the ball so well tonight.
Weaver's offense has put up plenty of points this year as well. And that's without Kachikarni at quarterback.
So if you're Coach Peary, you get the ball back here. The assumption is you might be able to be in some pretty decent territory because you've got Weaver punting. Punter's probably going to catch it around his own 6 or 7, maybe his own 5-yard line, even further back, yeah. So if you get a decent return here, even just a fair catch, you're likely to start things off on the Weaver side of the ball. I'd go right at the end zone.
That's a good punt.
Rugby style.
It's caught. Ooh, nice coverage. They did a great job. So Sparrow, that's actually number 8. That's Isaac Morrison, who fielded the punt. He was taken down quickly.
Yeah,
and
but
Davis will start at 46.
Again, interesting flip of the field because it's, you're just inside the midfield mark here. And if you're Davis and you go, hey, we can't mess around here. We're going to start opening up this playbook again, get right back to the stuff that was working for us in the first half.
Great field possession for the Darts. 1:48 to play here in the third. Messenger's in trouble. The heat comes. Gets rid of it. Throws it out of bounds. A nice effort to get rid of it there to save some yards.
I am shocked that he got it off, to be honest. I guess that's a testament to the arm strength that he's got. But Tyler Payne, that kid's a monster. Look at the body on that dude. I mean, he has got those got some arms, man.
You can see why.
Dude, he's big.
He's getting a lot of college attention. He'll play at the next level.
Did you say relation to Matt Payne? This is what you told me earlier before the game?
He is the son of the great Matt Payne.
Wow.
Who brought the pain at BYU.
He was a big
the hardest
dude.
hitting kicker of all time.
Oh, boy, we're old. That dude was in college when I was at school.
What a great play by Weber.
Guess who? We just were talking about him. And Tyler
What a
Payne
play by
is
Payne.
massive. And, you do these draw plays. It's all contingent on whether or not somebody doesn't stay home, maybe gets a little bit outside that tackle box, and Payne stayed home, and it's a big dude.
Big play here. 3rd down and 12 from the 44-yard line.
Bodie Sparrow up top.
Messenger pressure comes, gets rid of it. Overthrown, incomplete.
There's a flag on the play. I'm not sure what this is, though. It's in the secondary.
Uh-oh.
Be interesting.
Either way, this is a big call.
You can't give away a free first down.
Well, if you're Weber and you got caught holding here, that's devastating. You had these guys off the field.
During the live play, we have holding on the defense, number 3.
Yep.
Yeah, you called it.
10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It is not an automatic first.
Oh, interesting. Replay the down, but now it's 3rd and 1.
Much different play call here if you're Davis. Still a devastating call. You've got Davis off the field there now. You give him life. So 3rd down and 1.
Yeah.
From the Weber 46-yard line. Messenger rolling to his left. Throws it. Open. Caught.
Wow.
What a play.
Baggett was just wide open.
Tyson Baggett.
He's keeping up with these big catches, isn't he?
He is.
Huge play. And
how about Messenger throwing against his body right on the money?
You said he rolled out to his left. I thought, well, this will be a test of that arm, and there it was.
Oh, it was perfect. That moves the chains. Messenger. Talbot. Inside the 20.
And you haven't seen that. The first half, you saw a lot more of that where Talbot was going after the he was carrying the ball quite a bit in that first half, and now they're asking him to do the same thing, and he hadn't been able to get anything, and then he finally broke through on that one, got 9 yards, 2nd and short. That's kind of a coach's delight to be able to call that one.
High snap. He handles it, thrown to the end zone. Back shoulder. Incomplete.
Wow. Yeah, the defender, I think, it was, my goodness. You saw this. It was a high snap he had to handle. He throws it across to the other side of the field. Trusts the sophomore, but gets a shot right in the ribs. Ian Elmore on the defense there put an absolute shot into Jackson. You're going to have to tell me what the last name here.
Third and 1. Davis with the tight formation. Bessinger. They're going to hand it off. Oh, they had him in the backfield, and he escapes and then forges ahead for the first down. So the Darts move the chains inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And that's how we end the third quarter. A scoreless third quarter. 5 punts.
Yeah.
It happened.
Disappointed.
We'll see if the teams can find their offense again here in the fourth quarter. Stick around for what should be an incredible ending after this.
CCU, we've learned that people prefer more. And not just more, but a lot more. That's why UCCU created Elevated Checking. Elevated provides everything you'd expect from the best checking account anywhere and more. A lot more. Like loan discounts, overdraft forgiveness, and free ATMs nationwide. Just visit uccu.com
and elevate your checking.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Welcome back to Pleasant View for the fourth quarter of Weber and Davis. What a game this has been. Davis in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Weber 14. It's a direct snap to Jackson.
Idaho. They're going with the Wildcat here. Interesting.
It's very interesting adjustment.
I don't even think
Bessinger looks like he's coming back in.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the field. And, mix it up a little bit. 5.5 yards on that one? Sure. It's interesting how much they put on Idaho. He's a sophomore. He's not even your best sophomore, but they're putting so much more on him. And he's absolutely able to handle it.
Bessinger back in at quarterback.
So they read the pressure there, and then Peary calls a different play in.
Let's see if Weber still brings the pressure. Looks like they might back off. Catch is made. Past the chains. So it's a first down inside the 5.
There's your guy, Tyson Baggett. Gets him to 1st and goal at the 2. Just so sure-handed off of those edges. He's
mad he didn't get in the end zone.
Well, of course. He's an easy outlet pass for Bessinger. It's just maybe he's not even your first option. He's your second, and he is.
Bessinger under center. Handoff. Tackle is made short of the goal line. Down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Owen Talbot. He's a tough runner. But man, this Weber front on both sides of the ball, they're winning the trenches, right? I mean, they're absolutely able to get that push. Anytime that they've run the football on the Davis side of things, now they're able to move it very, very far. And Talbot's a tough runner.
Let's see if they can hold up here. It's 2nd and goal from the 2. Bessinger under center. Handoff. Talbot into the end zone.
Wow.
Touchdown, Davis.
It was the reach. The referee saw the reach. He saw the tip of the football go across the tip of that white line, and that was it. Talbot getting a rushing touchdown. Well-deserved, too. He's been running so dang hard all night.
Talbot on the 2-yard touchdown gives Davis a 35-24 lead. They will kick the extra point. Wondered if they'd go for 2. They do not. Kick is up and good. So with 10:32 left to play in the game, the Darts take a 36-24 lead on the road.
Yeah, and they break serve on that possession, and it was kind of who was going to blink first on defense, and ended up being Weber. Clutch drive by the Darts, because now if Weber's not able to respond, then Davis gets the ball back. Then you're looking at things getting really out of hand. This next drive is going to be huge for Weber. At the very least, to chew up some more clock, to drive down and then punch it in. You keep that Davis offense off the field at all costs. Best way to do it is to get a nice drive going and to get that ball down the field.
The Weber offense has been able to move the ball here in the second half, but the penalties have been drive killers, forcing 3 punts. They've got to change that here with 10:32 to play.
And they've been keeping it so close that when you get a 2-score game like this, and there have been stops, previously it was like, who cares? We're marching the ball down the field.
Yeah.
But when you get other stops, it starts to make you nervous, because if they get stopped on this one, Davis is just not the type of offense that likes to slow down, and if they smell blood, they'll keep going.
You're not going to get multiple stops against Davis.
If you do, you already had them, and they figured some things out.
There's only one team that's been able to do that this year, and that's Lehigh, who's the second-ranked team in the state.
Yeah.
Not many teams can stop this offense.
Yeah, this is going to be crucial, this drive.
All right, so Weber will start this drive at their own 20. A key drive here with 10:32 left to play. The winner of this game will certainly have the inside track on a region title.
Well, what's the rest of the region look like in terms of strength? Because these two teams right now, it feels so much more like a heavyweight bout compared to some of the other teams.
Fremont's got talent. They're much improved, but I don't know that they're on the level of these two teams. Farmington
down year
finally broke the losing streak, but they haven't been as good as they were 2 years ago. You continue to look around the region, and you're just not seeing teams that match up to these two. So it is interesting that we had a battle between these two teams to open it. But glad we did. This has been fun tonight.
Ian Elmore with that first catch. That's a great way to start off the drive, too. You get a nice 6-7 yards right off the bat.
He's got the edge. Tries to turn it back inside. First down and more.
And guess what? That's really the only... I don't know how many times we've seen this happen. It hasn't been that often, but that was the play that got it done in the first half. Just handed the ball off to the left side to Dyson Parker. It's been working. I'd love to see him stick with it. Look at this play.
Another big gain for Weber.
First time they've been able to throw that swing pass over to the left. They did it with in a trips formation. And they were able to get that Caden Lindholm with that catch right there. He was in full stride by the time he caught it. He was already on the run there.
We're under 10 minutes to play. Weber driving into Davis territory at the 45. Catch a call. No, it's direct to Parker. Parker runs inside, gets a couple before he's taken down. They're going to give him one.
These linebackers at Davis were told, you got one job this second half. You can't let him get to that secondary. Talking of Dyson Parker.
Weber goes tempo. Parker, that same play over and over again inside the 30. Parker left has been working all night long.
That one goes for almost 20. It goes 18 yards.
Wow.
You can see how good the blocking is because and how good the timing is because defenders are right there within arm's length, but just not close enough to be able to get there. Perfect lanes set by that offensive line by Weber. They're doing a phenomenal job tonight.
Loaded backfield. Motion. Payne in motion. Catch a Carney's going to hand it off. He's got another nice little lane, but it closes up quickly. I think he's going to get about a yard. Great job by the Davis front to close that gap quickly.
You know what's helped, too, is they get that extra blocker by sending guys like Payne in motion, especially when you get Payne in motion, and then he ends up being kind of another lead blocker there. It's just it's just a math problem there, JJ. You have more numbers than they do, and certainly bigger numbers, and it's worked all night. See if they stay with it. Davis hasn't been able to crack that code.
Now Carney's got trips to his right. He's going to look that direction. Takes a shot deep over the middle. Oh. Incomplete. Nice job by Davis to knock that away.
I think Sparrow thought he might be able to get a pick on that one. And, Ian Elmore was there to make the play. It's almost like he got a little bit of alligator arms because That safety was creeping up, and Sparrow obviously was ready to make a hit.
He had to feel him coming. Sparrow's a sophomore, but that's a big, strong kid.
Yep.
Lay the wood.
He's been cutting guys down all night, and he didn't even try to make the play on the ball. I think he was just trying to play the man, and if he would have made the play on the ball, he might have had a pick.
3rd and 9. Big play here for Weber. They got to keep this drive going. Kachakarny going for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Weber!
I can't tell if it was Elmore who made the catch. They've been going to him all night. Ian Elmore's been absolutely delivering. You're getting some info over there on who that was. I couldn't see on the far sideline.
Tyson Higgs with the touchdown.
What a catch.
What a rocket by Kachakarny. Tyson Higgs with a great catch. Kachakarny with a home run throw. And the Warriors are right back in it.
Yeah, that's his 4th receiving touchdown of the year. They go to him every so often, and boy, that was good man coverage, too. The ball was placed perfectly. The defender had his back to the quarterback, and he was right there, step in step with his guy. Can't ask much. You can't ask for better defense on that, but my goodness, what a play. Yeah, they switched numbers on us tonight. Tyson Higgs.
Tyson Higgs had been wearing 88. Now he's 0. He had 2 big plays on that drive.
Yep.
He had that first play. It was early in the drive. They got a first down deep into Davis territory, and then he finished it off there. So with 8 minutes left to play, Weber cuts the Davis lead to 5, 36-31.
Interesting. I mean, look, this is exactly what we asked for. We said, hey, how are they going to respond? They did it with a score of their own. They only did it in 2 minutes, too. That was a quick drive for them. They'd been running the ball so much. To get a chunk play on a pass like that was something that hadn't happened most of the night. Great pitch and catch. Kachakarny, nice to be back getting a touchdown like that.
This is going to be returned. That's trouble for Weber. He's got the edge. He's got blockers. They finally drag him down. He's still fighting. He's almost near the 40-yard line. That's a great return for Davis, as they got great field position. But I was going to talk about that drive because, let's be honest, I wasn't going to say it during the drive, but if Weber doesn't get that, felt like it was ball game.
Well, and not just that, it could have gotten out of hand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one where, like I said, you keep the Davis offense off the field by marching that ball down and also
you get
scoring.
A big play, you get the big lift on the sideline,
Yeah.
Your student section's going nuts, you're right back in this.
That's tough. That's the first time that Weber doesn't put one through the end zone for a touchback, and they end up paying for it, getting almost out to the 40.
Bessinger, quick outside. Oh, breaks a tackle. Nice play there by Talbot.
Yeah, Owen Talbot's
so
quick on the edge there. It's either Talbot or Baggett. I mean, you get it to one of those guys. You swing past to either one of those guys, and almost everybody has misjudged how quick they're going to be when they get that ball in their hands.
So 7 yards on that play. 2nd down and 3. Weber brings pressure. They're going to bottle him up.
Yeah.
They brought it at the right time.
Guess who came right up the middle? Tyler Payne gets in there and just absolutely makes a mess of that middle. I mean, a lot of other players were there, but you can't hand the ball off to Talbot there and have nobody block. That big number 9 up the middle.
Tyler Payne is an all-state caliber defender. He's having a monster night tonight on defense. Great crowd here tonight. Look at that student section, packed to the top of the stands.
This is a huge 3rd down. It's only 3rd and 5, but
pressure comes. Bessinger over the middle, wide open, caught inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line.
Tyson Baggett, man.
It's you're right, it's either Baggett or Talbot coming up with key plays.
Well, and that's the guy that's your safety valve, and yet on that play, very middle of the field, all the way behind. There wasn't a defender behind him. He catches that ball.
Well, they brought the house on the blitz, and they got burned.
Yeah, paid the price on it.
1st and 10, Bessinger taking a shot in the end zone.
Oh,
incomplete.
Great play on defense. Looked like it was 24 on defense for the for Weber. What a good play, because that ball was right in the hands. Oh, he looked like the Davis. Looks like Bodie Sparrow or
Aiden Rodarte.
Whoever it was just thrown to right there came down funky.
He's not getting up.
And he's in the end zone, and he looks despaired.
We will try to identify the player as soon as we can. I did not see from this far away up here in the booth who that was.
I'm looking in the huddle here, and I don't see number 2, and I think that was Sparrow. I don't know if he's cramping up. It looks like they might be stretching him out. I can't.
Well, you hope that's all it is. That's. They're attending to him right now. He's back up. That's good news.
But it is, and if Bodie Sparrow comes out of that game, he's, I mean, obviously, he looks like he's walking it off pretty good. I mean, he's one of their star defenders on top of being one of the best wideouts in the state. So
you don't see a lot of guys play both ways at the 6A level, but when you got a guy that talented, and he's, of course he's cramping. I mean, this is a big night. You're playing both ways. He's made some big plays in this game.
Yep. And he's
what an incredible athlete as a sophomore, 6'2", 190.
He did the same thing last year as a freshman on both sides of the football.
2nd and 10 from the 34. Trick play, Bessinger. Plenty of time. Now he's just going to throw it away. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
Weber did a great job.
Well, and smart play by Bessinger to throw it away, but you're right. Weber had all their guys downfield covering up the Davis guys. So what you had was a handoff into a reverse that ended up being a pitch back to Bessinger. When a play takes that long, too, either a defender's going to come through and tackle the quarterback, or you're going to actually give enough time to that secondary to match up with dudes, and that's exactly what happened.
3rd and 10. Huge play in this game. From the 34-yard line, Weber needs a stop. 6:29 to play. Bessinger in the pocket. Pressure comes. Can they get to him? What a play by Bessinger. Throwing to the end zone. Oh, almost intercepted, but it's knocked down.
What a play.
And Weber gets the stop they needed. Now the question is, Davis, do they go for it here on 4th down and 10?
The punt team was about to run out of the field, JJ.
From the 34.
Coach Peary said, let me think about it for another second here.
It's in a weird spot. How do you punt from the 34-yard line?
And you know what?
Does your kicker make a run at this?
Ooh, they might.
It would give you an 8-point lead.
So I will say.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to line up and kick a 50-yard field goal.
So I did see. Is it Finn is the last
Finn
name?
Garf.
Finn Garf. I saw him make a 52-yarder earlier this year. He's going from 50 right now.
From 50 for an 8-point lead. Finn Garf. He's got the leg.
Wow. He got it.
He got it from 50.
Wow. We were just talking about how these kids can hit from 50 now. And not only did he do it from 50, they did it in quick order. They came right out. They snapped it quick. It's not this thinking about it stuff. He came right out there. They snapped it quick. He kicked it quick. That was a clutch 50-yarder. My goodness.
Right down the middle. What a kick by Finn Garf. And a massive play. Because if you punt or you don't get it on 4th down, you turn it over to Weber with just a 5-point lead. Now you have the 8-point lead. The best Weber can do now is tie it on this drive. With 6:18 left to play. A massive play by Davis. The good news for Weber is they got the defensive stop. They're only down 1 score. And a 2-point conversion.
Isn't it fun? Like, listen, you played high school football around the same time I did. You couldn't ask our kickers to kick a 32-yarder. You never relied on a kicker.
Even in the Wyoming wind at 6,000 feet elevation, there's no way we were trying a 50-yard kick.
Oh, these kids are good, man. Hey,
shout out to my kicker when I was a senior, Bill Erickson.
Hey,
he was the last of the straightaway kickers.
Oh, the toe punch.
He had the toe push.
Oh, I love it.
The toe punch shoe and everything.
Well, look, Davis has they've got a line of kickers before. Will Farron is kicking for BYU as a place kicker at Davis.
They've had some excellent kickers at Davis High School. In fact, Region 1's pumped out a lot of good kickers. Syracuse, Baiman over at Syracuse.
Yeah.
I watched him kick a 50-yarder in our game that we did earlier this year, Farmington and Bountiful. And Bountiful has a kicker that kicks 50-yard field goals. So there's a lot of good special teams players in this state. All right, Weber, 6:18. They could tie it on this drive with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Ketchakarny is going to hand it off to Parker up the middle. It's about 3 or 4 yards on the first carry.
Well, and here's what you do on that last drive, too, when you're Weber. You keep Davis honest now, because now they got to play defense at the back end. They can't just sit there and go, well, the only thing they're going to do is hand it off to Parker.
There they go again with Parker. Behind some blockers, pushing ahead. He's down at the 29.
Look where Tyler Payne is down here blocking guys. He got his defender down here at least 15 yards past the line of scrimmage.
They're going tempo on 3rd and 1, and it looks like Davis is going to take a timeout.
And you know why they had to? It was going to be the same thing that happened to them earlier. And the coach isn't happy with one of his defenders, because Weber smartly saw that Davis was running a couple guys off the field again, and they were about to snap it. And Davis had to call another timeout, or I don't know if that was their first, but it's not when you want to take a timeout because you have too many guys on the field. Personnel issues will drive a coaching staff nuts, because it's what you go over all week. Yep. Where is so-and-so? Why isn't he on the field? Or why is so-and-so still on the field?
There was a shot of head coach Mo Cannon for Weber. He's done an excellent job in his first year here at this program. A young, up-and-coming coach.
The student sections. Boy, Amazon's a beautiful thing, isn't it? A little delivery.
It really is.
An alien costume overnight.
A little Men in Black action. Is that what we got going on there?
Well, you got the risky business with the cut-off tuxedos, too. Why not?
Parker has the first down.
Yep.
Plenty of time here. Time's not a worry. In fact, they may want to eat a bunch of clock here and keep Davis off that offense off the field in regulation.
Yeah, and, you know, it's a good point. At the same time, though, you still have 68 yards to go, and there's 5:26 left.
And the tempo is really working, Alex. That's really been effective against Davis.
Yeah, they've slowed it down when they've wanted to. They've sped it up when they've wanted to. And right now, you can take your time a little bit. You still have 5 minutes left, and it's exactly right. You don't want to get the ball back to him with 3.5 minutes left.
They're not going to call that. They call that one. Oh, boy. This has been a problem all half.
Yeah, and, you know, when you're at home, that's the thing that drives you nuts, too, because, you know, two advantages you have. Think about the only advantages you have on the offense is the play call and the snap count. So you got to take both. You got to take advantage of both of those.
Well, here's Coach Cannon trying to calm his kids down. 5 minutes to play. Ketchakarny throws high. Catch is made.
Great catch.
They're going to put it right at the 35-yard line.
There's Ian Elmore right when you expect it. I mean, they're asking guys that are veterans to make plays, and number 4 is one of them.
Going to throw it quick. Can he get the block? No, he cannot.
Oh, wow.
And that's a nice play by Davis on defense. Hammer with the catch. He couldn't escape the grasp of the Davis defender.
Connor Brown's made a bunch of plays tonight. I mean, you know, this Weaver team runs the football a lot more than they throw it, but that's the second tackle for a loss or tackle for no gain that he's had on the edge tonight on those passes. That could, if they don't get picked up, they can go for a long way.
3rd and 6. Huge play for Weber. Got to get a conversion. Catch is made. They got it. Dyson Parker has a first down.
Yeah, and you got one guy you got to keep your eyes on out of the backfield, either running the ball or catching it. He came straight out of the backfield, and nobody touched him. You got to have somebody eyeballing him all the time. That's a tough one to ask all the time because he is really hard to keep your eyes on.
Clock ticking. Ketchakarny's going to throw. Takes a deep shot. Catch is made at the 40 of Davis. Elmore again. He's having a big night.
Yeah, another short tackle by Connor Brown. Otherwise, that thing's going to the house. But, yeah, huge throw and catch right there. They're finding the one-on-one matchup. They like the fact that Elmore's a little bit bigger, and you put that ball outside to him. That's a strong arm from Ketchakarne to be able to get it out there to him.
We're under 3.5 minutes. Weber burning clock and driving. Handoff, Parker trying to get to the edge. Now he cuts it up. Gets about a yard.
You know, that's what I think Davis has been trying to do the whole night. Stretch that thing out, get your guys and filling gaps, but that one took longer to develop than we've seen most of the night. We got a Weber player down right now.
We'll take a break while they attend to the injured player. Don't miss the ending of this one. 39-31. Davis leads Weber, but the Warriors are driving. We'll be right back.
At UCCU, we've learned that people prefer more. And not just more, but a lot more. That's why UCCU created Elevated Checking. Elevated provides everything you'd expect from the best checking account anywhere and more. A lot more. Like loan discounts, overdraft forgiveness, and free ATMs nationwide. Just visit UCCU.com.
And elevate your checking. From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
2nd and 8. Devin Nielsen, the injured player. He walked off on his own power. Good to see there. Parker cuts it up in a hole into the secondary, taken down inside the 30.
Takes a big tackle by Bodie Sparrow to stop him. I mean, nobody touched him on that right side. You know, I was going to say something about Ketchakarne, too, because you think about it. This is his first game back after a lengthy absence with the injury. How long did it take him to get settled? You know, a couple quarters, and guess what? He's been solid as a rock in the second half. He's leading his team. Knows his guys, knows what his specialties are. And he's been making amazing throws the second half.
We've seen outstanding quarterback play here tonight. Both sides. Ketchakarne's going to hand it off. Parker cuts up and tries to get something, maybe a yard on first down. Burning that clock. We're coming up to 2 minutes.
See, then you start to have to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they got a couple of timeouts in their back pocket here. And you don't want to speed it up yet. But you're also 30 yards away from scoring. And the yards have come harder in the second half. Been a little bit more difficult to come by.
Ketchakarne's going to hand it off. Parker gets the edge. He's got a lane. Inside the 20, inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line.
Stays in bounds. It keeps the clock going, but that's kind of what Weber wants. They just took out. Look, I don't know if you.
Another Parker left run.
And another 18 yards, too. He's gotten 15, 12. Wow. He's gotten 18 a couple times. We don't have the live stats right in front of us, but there's no way he's south of 150.
I think he's over 200.
He's got to be.
He had a 200-yard game earlier in the year.
They're taking their time. It's under 90 seconds, JJ.
Yep. They're letting that clock run. They're in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 13. Ketchakarne hands it off. Parker.
Yep.
Another shot. Gets down to close. They're going to mark him about the 11, so give him a couple. Clock continues to run.
Now you start to watch the sideline, see if they're going to start using their timeouts yet. They got 2 of them. You're now under a minute. You don't want to burn them yet. You also don't want to take too much time.
Both teams have 2 timeouts. Parker following his blockers. Inside down to the 5.
He runs so hard, doesn't he? Now they call timeout, and that's a smart way to do it, and they still have an extra one after this.
Yep. 48 seconds. Weber takes the timeout. We'll keep it right here. What a game by Dyson Parker.
All right. Well, start working it out in your head, because if a score gets punched in, which, you haven't seen Davis stop that run all night, keep it. I mean, listen, telegraph it. Tell them you're going to run it. It doesn't matter. They haven't stopped it all night. I used to love these types of games when you're an O-lineman just beating your guy in front of you all night. You just said, we're coming right here again, and you can't stop it.
Yep.
The question is, what do you do on that 2-point conversion? I mean, I know I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead here, but
you got to have something in your brain dialed up if you're the OC.
But you also can't overthink it.
Nope.
You're going to be going from the 2-yard line. JJ, you and I have been in this spot before. Last time we called a game, it came down to a 2-point conversion.
That's right.
And that was even controversial.
The East Brighton game last year. We were lucky to get out of there with our lives. Inside joke.
A flare of the dramatic.
Cacicardi from the 6-yard line. And we got a flag. Did they do it again? They did.
The left side of that line.
They are shooting themselves in the foot over and over again, in the second half especially. Yeah. The false start.
Number 78 of the offense, 5-yard penalty. Pete, 3rd down.
These guys have had this offensive line. JJ's had such an amazing night, and yet their coaches are going to say, "Hey, you made a loss this one for us tonight. If you don't."
The offensive line has been awesome in the run game. Not awesome with these penalties. 3rd and 10. Cacicardi. End zone caught. Touchdown, Weber.
Look who it is. Tyler Payne. That's big number 9. And that's when you dial it up. What a perfect play call, too. You had just been backed up. You're 3rd and 10 outside of your 10-yard line. You've got quite a bit to go. And, man, they punch it in. They threw it to the right guy, and nobody was bringing him down before he got through the end zone. What a play by Tyler Payne. What a throw by Cacicardi.
Here we go. With 43 seconds left, Weber has cut the lead to 2. They will go for 2 and the tie.
The coach having a conversation with the white hat here about where to put this ball. Says he might want it in the. You get to actually take a pick of where you want between those hashes, and looks like you wanted it a little bit further inside. Something tells me, JJ, they want this full left side of the field.
Gee, I wonder why. Here's the ball game.
Wow, they emptied the
Empty backfield. Cacicardi. Pressure comes. Throw short. Incomplete.
Hit the turf.
The 2-point conversion is no good.
Wow.
It was intended for Elmore, number 4, and he couldn't come up with it.
Well,
Cacicardi threw it in the turf.
I think it was a short throw by Cacicardi, and I just wonder why you empty that backfield.
Oh, this is the touchdown.
That's the touchdown. I wonder why you empty the backfield and don't give your workhorse a shot from 2.5 yards out with that full left side of the field that no one's been able to stop him on tonight. See, this is look, Davis did it earlier in the game. They overthink an extra point, and that may have cost you. Gosh.
Here's that replay conversion.
Here. Gets a little bit of pressure there, gets rid of it. Yeah, hits the turf first, and even if it's caught, the ball wasn't even to the end zone.
I don't even know if he's over the plane. So tough one for Weber. They're going to have to go with the onside kick. They got a shot here to get possession back, but it kind of rides on this, right? If you don't get this converted, Davis kills the clock, and the Darts will escape with a huge road win.
You get all your best players lined up. Question is, which side do they come to?
All right, let's see what Weber can come up with here on the onside kick. This is the ball game.
So now what side of the ball are they coming to here?
They're going to go right. Oof. And a great play is made. Davis recovers. That's number 26. Xander Christensen does his job. He did his 111th. And it should give Davis a victory.
Wow, what a tough one for Weber. I mean, when you look at it, you're the coaching staff. Don't worry, you'll have some parents who will do the same thing that we did, which is ask a lot of these players, and you're going to say, did we call the right play though? Did we put these kids in the right spot to win this football game? And you'll You'll ask that question a couple times. They'll watch film tomorrow morning, JJ, and you know how it is after a loss. Watching those film sessions are brutal, especially when you have such a good game. Davis is going to have to snap the ball again. They initially snapped the ball and knelt it, and the clock didn't start. And finally, the clock wound back down, and then
and that's it.
That's your ball game.
The clock strikes 0. What a game. Both of these teams gave us everything they had tonight. This game lived up to the hype. Someone had to come away with a win, and it's the Davis Darts.
Yeah, and you know what's here's what's great and awful about this. I really hope that we see what happened last year with these two teams, which was they saw each other again in the playoffs. These are probably the two best teams in the region. Last year they played in the second round of the playoffs. Another close one in that one too. Man, I hope these two teams find each other again at some point in the offseason. Or in the postseason. You know they'll both be there. The question is whether or not they'll be able to match up against one another. What a great game.
There's Traden Bessinger. He led this team to a huge road victory here in Region Play. What a way to kick off Region Play in Region 1. What a special game. 39-37. It came down to a 2-point conversion. The Darts get the stop.
Yeah, you hate a game like this. You know, when you're Davis and you're used to winning games by a couple touchdowns or 5. But honestly, they haven't been tested like this since game 1. They haven't had a close game even that they've been in, win or lose. Right? Their only loss, they lose by a couple scores, and then this game, and then the rest of the way they haven't been tested. And well, they passed the test here, but man, you're Weber. You're going to kick yourself when you watch those. When you watch this one back again, the penalties, JJ, in the second half are going to come back and haunt you. That stuff's going to get brought up, and you know the coaches are going to be able to at least teach their kids a couple things about how they can get that win next time.
But this was just a fantastic high school football game.
Yep.
Homecoming for Weber. Two great teams put on a great show here tonight for all of us that were able to watch. Fun night. We're going to try to get a player here shortly after Davis celebrates with their fans on the sideline. But I was really impressed with both teams tonight. Both of these teams are going to be a factor in the 6A playoffs.
Yeah, you wonder. I mean, we talk about it all the time, JJ. This, you talk about Region 1 versus the other big 6A schools down at the point of the mountain.
You got Corner Canyon, Region 2, obviously, and then you go down to Region 3 with Lone Peak and Sky Ridge and Lehigh. And American Fork. I mean, it's just a juggernaut. And it's been Corner Canyon and those Region 3 teams that have dominated and reached the turf of Rice-Eccles. Can one of these teams break through like Weber did 3 years ago?
I think that this is going to be one of those. This is going to be one of those years that, hopefully these other regions up here up north pull a little bit closer. But man, what a fantastic football game tonight! It's not the way you want to see it. I mean, I'm over here crossing my fingers hoping for overtime because we're thinking we're going to get some extra ball.
Yeah.
And
I didn't want this game to end, to be honest, Alex. I'm having a great time.
No, it's fun.
This is exactly what we came here for, was a game like this, and to be able to enjoy a high school football game in this setting and one of the most beautiful spots you'll see a high school football game in the country. And it lived up to the hype. That was a fun game. A good tone setter for Region. You look at Region 1 now, and it's going to be tough to top this one.
Well, and it's also going to be tough to beat either of these teams. Davis will hit the road, and Weaver will hit the road, and they've got to play, your Laytons, your Fremonts, your Farmingtons, and I think that every one of those teams, depending on the night, you never know what's going to happen, but both of these teams right now look like they're the class of Region 1, and it's going to be a fun one to see this one come down the rest of the year to see how they figure it out. Syracuse is, Syracuse, Farmington, and Fremont, and Layton. I don't know which one of those teams is going to challenge either of these two teams, but You know, we get shocked every year sometimes by this region play.
Well, let's go check the Region 1 scoreboard, because right now Farmington and Syracuse are headed to overtime, tied at 31.
Good for Dan Coach's team. I'm glad
after regulation.
I'm glad they're finding some offense here.
It looks like Farmington's finally turning a corner and getting back to their winning ways. Fremont has defeated Layton tonight 15-7 in another Region 1 opener. So after tonight, pending that Farmington-Syracuse result, it'll be Fremont-Davis with 1-0 starts in region play.
Well, fun homecoming night tonight, JJ. I mean, obviously Weber doesn't come away with a win, but I will say their fans freaking showed up, man.
Oh, great crowd tonight.
Awesome student section. We
love
went out,
coming up here.
During halftime, we came out, and it was standing room only on every side of this home side of this home side of the stadium, and everybody decked out in black, and there you go. So it's a tough one, but they also have this cool fifth quarter tradition that they do, where the whole stadium basically can come out onto the field, and they fire up the clock for 10 minutes, and they allow everybody to hang out for that what they call the fifth quarter. That's kind of fun.
Just got word that Fremont won the game on a goal line stand. So great play tonight in Region 1. What a way to start play up here. It's 3 great games in region play. While we wait for our post-game interview to make the way to the end zone, I'll catch you up on the other 6A results tonight. Lone Peak beat Pleasant Grove 37-0.
Jeez.
Corner Canyon 21, Mountain Ridge 14. So Mountain Ridge gave Corner Canyon quite a game tonight. Bingham beat Copper Hills 35-14. Sky Ridge defeats Westlake 40-0. Lehigh defeated American Fork 34-10. Harriman leads Riverton right now 23-17 in the fourth quarter. That is your 6A scoreboard at this point tonight. Looks like we got Trayton Bessinger on his way over to our cam. We'll get him a headset and get him hooked up. It'll be great to talk to Trayton about this game.
So is Lone Peak now kind of the team to beat?
Lone Peak's #1 in the state. There's no doubt about that after beating Corner Canyon.
It's like young man's putting the headset on here, getting ready for his television debut tonight, buddy.
Yes, he is. Looks like he's ready. Let's go down to the end zone. Trayton Bessinger.
Yes, sir.
#4, Davis. Got a little ice on that shoulder. You put a lot of work in that tonight.
Yeah, right.
You earned that ice, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on an incredible win tonight,
Thank
Trayton.
you. Thank you,
First
sir.
of all, just your reaction. This was an amazing game.
Yeah.
You got to go on the road and tough it out. Just your thoughts on getting this win tonight in such a crazy way.
Oh gosh, like our team and stuff, like Coach Perry, he gives us like these these messages before the game and stuff, and he's always like, or the week of, and he's like, different message every single time. This week was deliver, and he's like, deliver your talent, deliver what we bring to the table and stuff. Let's go show him and stuff, and he does a great job. And like my reaction to this win, like, wow, it's a good team right there. Like they're good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys haven't been able to face a team like this. I mean, since Lehigh, you've had quite a string of offensive outputs in these other games.
Yeah.
To be able to play in a close game and to be able to win that one, how much does that mean to you guys?
I mean, I love it. Like I was telling my coach and stuff, I was like, Coach, I want to play the second half now. Like we haven't played the second half this whole entire season yet, and that was an amazing game. I loved every second of it. I'm so happy it came out into the wire too. Like it was great. It was so fun.
Well, Trayton, I'm going to let you talk up your teammates here real quick because there's so many guys.
Yeah,
Just talk about the weapons you have, the skill position players on offense that you have to work with.
I got to start out with my O-line, man. They're dogs. Like, they may be undersized and stuff, but holy crap, will those boys work for me. And those guys, I love them all. I love every single one of them. I'll never not.
So now the rest of the way, how does a win like this take you into the rest of region and face the rest of these teams? Because you're going to have a lot of close games like this, I feel like, the rest of region.
Yeah, we got a tough region and stuff. We have a lot of people have good records and stuff, and I think that I like this win for us, and I think it sends a message, kind of. It sends a message for Weber, too. It sends a message knowing that they're a good team. That QB that just barely came back, he had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
And, yeah, credits to him, man. It was a nice game for him.
Yeah, Fremont got a goal line stand to beat Layton tonight, and Syracuse and Farmington are in overtime right now. So crazy opening night for
Those
Region 1.
Farmington guys and my boys.
There you go. Well, before we cut you loose, Trade, I just wanted to ask about you because I'm looking at you. You do not look like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
You've been able to make tremendous progress, and I know how blessed you are.
Oh, I'm so lucky.
But to be able to start at Davis as a sophomore, how big was that last year to get that experience and to be able to perform like this now as a junior?
I loved it. I was in basketball. We were in basketball practice, and Coach Perry comes rushing. He's like, Trayden, you're the starting varsity quarterback. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, you're going to be ready, kid, and you're gonna do great and stuff. And he tells me for every single game, he's always like, no stage too big, young fella. And he's always just hyping me up and bringing my confidence to the next level.
Well, Trayden, congratulations on a big win. It was great to talk to you. And
you too.
We will see you down the road, I am sure. Congratulations on a monster win.
Thank you so much.
Trayden Bessinger.
That's a good
number 4.
Kid.
Davis starts. What a night.
That's a fun one. And that's great perspective, too, to go, this team was awesome. The other quarterback, I mean, Ketchikana, he even knew. He goes, he came back, right, from that injury. He comes back because, they came out on the field and they probably were like, he's back, because they weren't expecting it.
Real recognizes real.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like a tremendous respect that these kids have for one another. They see how hard it is to get to the point that they are, to be able to work to the spot that they get, and they know the other side of the field. When it's a 2-point game, that both of these teams have been working their butts off in the offseason. Both of these guys, they know who the better teams are in the region, and they know who they're going to have to face off the rest of the way. You got to reset him, and you saw the ice on his shoulder. Rehab starts now, and then you get ready for next week. There's just no rest for the wicked here, man.
No, there is not. And what a way to start region play tonight. The Davis Darts get it done on the road. They defeat the Weber Warriors 39-37 in a game that lived up to the hype. That's it for us tonight. For Alex Curie, thanks for joining me tonight. That was fun.
I'll see you on Monday on the radio, brother.
There you go. Back to work. Well, I'm gonna hear you tomorrow.
Yeah, long days
at college football tomorrow. You're gonna have a long day tomorrow as well. So thanks, Alex, for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure. Thanks for everybody for watching us tonight. So for Alex, our entire Game Night Live crew, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. So long, everybody.